That was pretty hilarious, especially the part about the bear.
Hello, everybody.
We're live. Hey, we're live.
Yeah, we are. On tonight's show, we have Mr. Scott Roseman.
Somebody's live. Hey, we're live. Oh, that's probably me. I was going to say somebody's probably watching this.
Oh my goodness. Archie, DC, Marvel artist. Scott Roseman. Yeah.
There we go. I'm sorry. That was me.
We have him here with us tonight. We're gonna answer some questions, talk San Diego Comic-Con, and some other good stuff. And we're gonna try to do so without getting any more enemies.
Oh, forget that. Don't even try. That's a lost cause.
Why bother? Haters gonna hate.
Let's roll that intro, guys.
Roll it.
Welcome to Indie Vote Live. It is Tuesday. It is 9 o'clock. Therefore, it is time for Indie Vote TV. I am the founder of Indie Vote, Varian Grant. You can check out Indie Vote at indievote.com, as well as here on the YouTube, Indie Vote TV on your Roku, and Indie Vote Radio on Google and iOS. Tonight, we have the usual gang of bridge burners. Right below me.
Hi, I'm Randy Zimmerman. You can go by Zim Geek YouTube channel. Self-publisher for many decades, so longer than most of you have been alive.
And we have Louis Brightraven. Louis, what is it that you're known for criminally?
Criminally, we weren't going to talk about our sport careers.
You gotta stop that now. 27-year writer, artist, and talent scout. Worked for Marvel, DC, Arrow, Comics, Caliber Press. Steve Jackson.
Speak up, Louis. I think Scott's having a hard time hearing.
Yeah, my mic's not doing good tonight.
That's much better.
As I said, Marvel, DC, or not DC, Marvel, Arrow Comics, Caliber Press, Steve Jackson Games, TSR Wizards of the Coast, and other companies. And I also own my own studio, Constellation Studios.
And up there, the man that worked in the mainstream very heavily, Mr. Roseman, Scott Roseman. Scott, give us your whole list of achievements that they're going to make.
Oh, well, there's your whole show right there. Turn off your mics. Okay, all right, real quick rundown of the companies. Marvel, DC, Disney, Warner Brothers, Valiant, Archie, Cartoon Network, TSR, Dungeons and Dragons, FASA, like Wolf.
A lot of companies.
Just on and on and on.
We printed some stuff from Arrow.
Yo, was our Arrow comics? Yeah, that was a real good time with that. Randy and I could trade quips along about running the independent gauntlet, with our work. So, but yeah, I'm just one of those kind of guys. I was hustling for whatever work I could get, and so that's almost the whole list. I don't think it's everything, but it's all I'm going to bother getting into now.
We see you're working on a painting there back behind you. What's up with that?
Yeah. That's a big, probably about 50 by 75, 50 inches by 75 inches. It's going to hang in the home of a local dentist.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's a classic landscape. Mountains, trees, a big 10-point buck, and all this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, looks awesome.
Yeah, we're trying to make some headway on it. I've been working on it for far too long, so I'm hoping we'll get it done. Plus, maybe as the show goes on, I got my drawing board here, and I may put some art on it, and I'll probably be sketching away. I don't know how much anybody can see the
Oh, we can see it good.
As I'm drawing, occasionally I hold it up and show it, but I'll still be gabbing away with you guys. I'm not gonna.
Okay.
I can draw and chew gum at the same time.
So tonight, we do have a few interesting things to bring up. We've got our usual questions, which we're going to jump into before we get into some of the main topics, as well as
What are you going to do? What you're scared?
What?
we wanted to address some of the fallout from San Diego Comic-Con.
Well,
Go ahead.
I was going to say I'm not going to be able to contribute to it if you've never been to it. But Lewis, did you say you went to Comic-Con?
No.
Oh, okay. But go ahead, Varian. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was not at Comic-Con this weekend. I was at Kintokyo, which is a indie comic, not indie comic, an anime comic.
Anime mine.
Yeah. Yeah. So, guys, you want to jump into the questions here first?
Go ahead, go with questions.
You want to talk about that since you were already talking about San Diego? Did you want to finish that up? Did you have points on that, or?
Well, I was going to jump into that after the questions. But...
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. You are the stagecoach driver, my friend.
All right.
Wherever you want to go, you lead. Somebody's calling.
I know. I ignore it. I can see this junk call on the call art.
I'd rather be the stagecoach driver than the robber, unfortunately.
Oh, we're going to get to the pass without your guidance there.
All right, so we're gonna. Would you have to start with a mean question or a?
You do have the coonskin cap, so
that's true. What was that? The John Wayne sidekick in some of his earlier films. Gosh, he's always the old traitor, you know. Huh?
I was going to say old coot number 2.
Yeah.
hey, Duke. Let's go to the river.
So yeah, fire away with the question.
All right, here we go. Question.
Post it.
Here. I want to make sure I get a good one. Okay.
Because Randy's got to read it.
Yeah, Randy has to read it.
Am I reading it?
Yeah.
Right. I'm putting down my chick publication as we speak. Hello, Mr. Zimmerman. Love the show you guys got. You
Stop.
think
Wait a minute. Wait there. Hello,
What?
Mr. Zimmerman. Love the show you guys got. Randy, this is your show.
It's my show. Yes.
Go ahead.
I'm just the guy, riding shotgun. Do you think with the recent emergence of indie comics as financial powerhouses that conventions like Cake, Ape, and Space will grow to become better, larger shows? Indie comics needs its own SDCC. Get Burning Bridges. Thomas Buckner. Hey, Thomas Buckner.
Yeah.
Thanks for the letter. And, comics needs its own SDCC anymore. So that'd be really nice to see. But yeah, indie comics could use some big shows, and Cake and Ape and Space are big ones. So let's hope they get bigger. That would be nice to see.
Well, isn't Ape the really huge one of those three?
On the West Coast, definitely. I'm trying to think about the one that's on the East Coast now.
Is that Cake? Because Space is in Midwest. That's in Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so. I'm trying to remember.
It's Bob Corby's show. He puts on a good show.
Yeah.
Spaces.
What kind
Ape and Cake I've never been to.
What kind of attendance numbers do these shows bring down?
I know Cake. I think Cake is. I mean, I've had a floor plan for Cake.
We all know Cake, my friend.
Cake.
Cake.
Well, I typed in Cake Comic Con. I'm getting comic book cakes. Let's see here.
I don't think I'm not even sure Ape even exists right now. I think Ape ended in 2017. I think.
Did it really?
Yeah, I think Dan Vado retired from running it.
He did.
Started it, so I don't know.
Dan was running it, huh?
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't sell it. I'm sure you could have found a buyer for it. I mean, you brought in a lot of people.
I was going to say, how many years did that last?
94 to 2017.
There you go.
The Cake is in Chicago, right? Yeah.
Wow, 15-year show. That's pretty good. 13-year show.
That's not good.
That's awesome.
I typed in Cake Chicago and it tried to take me to a It wasn't porn. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if X. I don't know if space. I don't know if Kink is still around anymore, guys.
Varian, what are you doing with your sound? You're going crazy.
Say again?
What are you doing with your sound? You're going crazy.
He has a bad connection in his cord that jumps up and down way too
Oh,
often.
it's too bad.
I keep telling him to replace it. So, Chicago Alternative Comics Expo is cake.
Yeah. But I went to the website. They tried to link me to something else. So.
That's an alternative print expo. Well,
I
now
was thinking about Mocha out in on the East Coast.
I'm on here to June 1st. They just had cake. I didn't see any notification for it. June 1st and 2nd, 2019.
Yeah.
Well, I like his question though. What do we think of the recent emergence of indie comics? I don't know does anybody think that there are some indie comics that are financial powerhouses? There we go. There's your answer, Thomas.
Only the stuff that's been recently funded by.
Hang on a second. I'm right back.
Okay.
We'll wait until he comes back and give him the rundown, huh?
Yeah.
Pokey smoke.
He also has a question from M3 SOZ. Almost said MS3. Isn't that a big gang or something?
MS3CK, right?
But I will put that up in a minute. M3. In the chat, we got Professor Trike. Trike just launched his own YouTube channel this week. Professor Trike.
How come he's not here? Can you only handle 4 at once?
No, I can. I'm this thing can.
Mr. Trike, you need to get in here.
She's professional. She can take on more than one.
All right.
Yeah.
No. I think I give the assist. But yeah.
Let me call up IndieCron here. I got it. Is Scott back with us yet?
Yep, right here.
Scott, let me find some of these good ones.
You know you can share screen, Randy.
Huh?
You know you can share screen.
Yeah, not on my wonderful Microsoft Edge.
Oh,
okay. Not gonna happen. I could probably do that through Chrome though. Let me check.
You want me guys? I'm gonna take the question out now.
What? The other? Yeah, take MS3's question down. Let me go over to.
I haven't put it up yet.
Let me go over to IndieCron.
Well, I do want to address this guy's question directly. So
okay.
Doing that. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I think he's probably referring to companies like IDW and regardless. I mean, but again, whether it's
it's not how big you are; it's how big you think they think you are. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that could be. But you know, I think I will say this to Thomas Buckner is that I'm not so sure their recent emergence as really popular powerhouses, but I do say that I certainly hope they keep growing like that. I'm not really sure if their status as well. Let's just assume his premise has got some body to it, a financial powerhouse. I think they're always going to kind of run into the a little bit of the roadblocks that the really big mainstreams are always going to kind of throw up in their way.
Can you see my screen, Varian?
Let me see if you shared it. Yeah, did you share it? Yeah,
I think I'm sharing. Am I? Can you see IndieCron?
Yep, I can.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Pop that baby up.
There
Look at this. This is what he's talking about. Powerhouse. You see Monster MD here. Monster MD's pulled down $45,000. Jawbreakers, God King, which just started like a week ago. It's at $112,897. They were asking for 10. Off-Worlder there is pulled down 13, but they're asking for 30. Soul Finders at 25,000. Graveyard Shift just started 2 days ago, maybe 3 days ago. They're at 63,242.
Oh, that's the numbers they're raising on crowdfunding?
That's what they're getting right now. That's what they have right now. That's not all of these are open. All of these are active accounts. Red Rooster is at 191,420, 191,000. Brand is at 69,000. I'm just reading off the big ones here. This is indiecron.com. This This is Edwin's site, who keeps track of all of the active, mostly Indiegogo sites. Campaigns. Downcast here is 28,000.
Oh, Cyberfrog, isn't that right? Isn't that
That's Ethan's book, yeah.
You should not be named.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get more hate mail. Holy crap.
233? It's not too bad.
Cyberfrog. No, that's the second cover.
Oh, I see.
The first one, let me scroll down and see if I can find that. He's had 3 covers on that puppy. That's the second one that he closed out too early.
Oh,
he closed that out at 200 and something. It's probably an inactive because he just got that book in. That's up and coming here. Nope. We might have to jump over to Cyberfrog itself. I think totally it's pulled down 860,000. I think.
Wow.
Close to that.
I know drug
Earthworm Jim just passed 751,000.
Oh no, there we're talking some serious money there.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about when he's talking about powerhouses.
Okay. Well, I guess maybe we might have a little bit of an issue with his description. Power. I don't know.
Yeah,
Right
we talked about that at San Diego, or not San Diego, in Grand Rapids.
Oh,
you and I did. Remember that one time we were talking about all those independent crowdfunding campaigns?
That's right. That's right.
Well,
yeah.
at least Scott did not tell you at any point.
I don't have to understand shit. That's true. That Cyberfrog Blood Honey team up cover is 233. Can you see this screen? This is from Indiegogo.
No, you stopped sharing.
No,
Wait, no, he's not.
Right.
I have to back on the.
It's down.
Here we go. Here we go.
Am I back over there? Ethan Van Sciver Cyberfrog Blood Honey. His main campaign that he already has shut down was 538. Now he's got another. He just did a Cyberfrog Vampirella cover. That was just a cover that's on wraps around Vampirella and Reanimator #1. That pulled down 67,000 just for the cover. He's also selling a print of the cover. His third campaign, which that's his second campaign. That's at 90,000. His third one, the team up cover, he's still got open. That's the 233 cover. That's still in demand. That means that it's an open account for now. He's getting books in probably, if not today, then tomorrow at the latest. That he's going to start circulating.
Yeah.
And fulfilling. Lone Star Heart of the Hero is at 113,399. That's Mark Miller's book. We might talk about him later.
Yeah, the thing is with those are guys that are well established Marvel DC guys. If they weren't that, I don't think they would make that kind of bank.
Right here in the center is a book called.
I agree. Lewis.
Right here in the center is a book called Starblades. This is by Kyle Ritter, who's never done a book before. He's at 28,780. He's only been open for a couple of days. He's got 59 days left.
Colorist for Cyberfrog.
Kyle is a colorist for Cyberfrog, but look at this. He's been doing his own artwork.
No, he's got good work. Don't get me wrong.
Crazy.
I'm just saying that part of the reason he's got his numbers as good as he is because of the connection to Ethan.
Yeah. Well, plus it's an awesome looking book.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Well, I'm not saying it's not awesome. I'm just saying people.
People wouldn't back this just because they're friends of Ethan, because Ethan's had people on his channel that haven't done anything.
Mm-hmm. But could we? Do you think we could do that? Ever have like an indie comics, like its own San Diego Comic Con, something where everyone comes?
It's going to take a couple years.
Yeah,
but I could see it happening.
It could happen, but one of the main roadblocks is that so many of the indie comics that are getting very popular have got very separate fan bases. You don't know how much bleed over there is from, say, Ethan's fan base to somebody else's fan base. I think a lot of these books that are getting strong followings aren't just by people who just love indie comics in general. They love specifically Cyberfrog, or they love Star Sword, or what have you.
Well, these people have built up a lot of these people have built up a reputation inside a community, for one, but for two, they're also tapping into an audience that hasn't been able or wanted to buy comics in a long time.
Yeah.
because the product has been downright inferior.
And I think that I think they're fortunate to have these very strong fan bases, and
Well, they've built them up over years.
yeah,
You know, it's not something they've snapped their fingers and here it is.
that's true. That's true.
From our chat, from M3SOZ to you, Scott, it says, "Hey Scott, how were you so fortunate to get so many gigs with so many companies? How did you get your start?"
Well, I'm glad. I appreciate that question. Well, I would say tenacity. I think as much as anything. I mean, I don't discount what, however you want to look at my abilities or my talents. I don't discount that as being a big factor. But for me, it was always just this. God, I just can't stop doing this. I have to constantly go after it. So I would get a job with some company on a book, and then right away I'd make copies of the samples and send them out to other editors, or to go to a convention and show them to other people.
Mm-hmm.
It was just this constant hustle, and learning to network, learning to communicate with other people, knowing that, when you get to know somebody, it's more than just a 5-minute conversation. You got to be willing to come back to the table and, and talk with them some more. And, you find interest with people, and pretty soon you find out about this thing and that thing. And like, I'll give you an example with the Space Ghost I got to do for Archie. That came about from years earlier, where before I ever got into the business, I was a fan going to shows like so many, like all of us. And this was back, the old original Chicago Comic-Con. Remember that, Randy?
Oh, yeah.
It was a great show to go to because a lot of people, but you had far more easier access to huge, big names.
Oh, yeah.
So my friend Jack Snyder and I would go to the Artist Alley and sit there in front of Steve Rude and just talk art hours on end while he was sketching. And we did that year after year after year, and he just became almost like a friend to us. And so when I finally got into the business, I was literally at a Motor City show right there, Lewis. I don't know if that was when you were at, but probably not. It was probably the mid to late 90s. And I had been set up at the show. I did the usual thing, selling art. And just as we were getting ready to leave, we were leaving a little bit early, back when you could do that. And I said to my wife and I said, wait, I haven't talked to Steve yet. I got to go over and talk to Steve Root just for a few minutes. So I went over there and I sat next to him, and I was flipping through a sketchbook like he'd always let me do before, for all those years and summers before. And I came across a sketch of Space Ghost that he had done in his sketchbook, one of thousands he always do. And I said to him, I said, God, Steve, why don't they just do a Space Ghost comic and be done with it? And he said, well, they're going to. And I just, what? They're going to do another Space Ghost comic like he had done in the, in the late 80s. And I said, I got to be a part of this. You got to let me, how do I do this? How do I get in part of it? And he took a sample of my work and he said, I know the editor. I'll go back and I'll let him tell you about it. And that's how I got it. I mean, if I had walked out of that convention without going to go talk to Steve Root again, I would have got that job. So it's just one of those, there's been all kinds of things like that's happened. And I think you can never discount too much the value of making connections with people, getting to know people, talking to people, letting them know what you're doing, finding out what they're doing.
Are you suggesting not burning bridges on our pro burning bridges?
I'm saying you can put flint and stone on the bottom of your shoes and just scrape your feet as you walk, and you're going to burn a bridge as you cross it, or you can't avoid it. It's just going to happen. So I would say try not to purposely do it. So if it does set a fire, nobody knows it was you. But yeah, I'd say try not to if you can help it.
Okay. Next question, fellas. This is our hate mail. So if anyone is squeamish or doesn't like
My mom was a nurse. You can't bother me with brain soup.
This is everyone doesn't like expletives. They should probably turn away now. This is not for people who might use words like my truth. Are you ready?
Go ahead.
Here we go, fellas. Randy, sir, please read it.
You already read that one.
Yeah, but off the air.
Off the air. I hate
That's
you,
right.
entitled effers. You're all just mad because the industry passed you by and you didn't evolve. F you. I hope someone sticks a rancid toy up your tuna fish smelling ace and makes you feel like the little whores you are. Eat my you whatever's. Eat it.
Can I play a clip, please? Can I play a clip?
Play a clip.
Oh, hell no. First of all,
Eat
God, what
it.
are we gonna do? I've heard it for years. Lewis, have you ever heard such language?
Unfortunately, yes.
Been on this show before.
My ears are burning. My ears are burning. Oh,
First of all, my ass is not my tuna fish. That's number one.
You shower every day.
I still wonder how he knows what our asses smell like in the first place.
yeah.
You gotta sleep sometime. Windows closed.
Who is it? Carey. Jim Carrey was asked, how do you sleep at night knowing all these people hate you? He goes, I sleep without any pants so that they can kiss my ass.
That's a good one.
I hope someone sticks a rancid toy up your tuna fish smelling A's and makes you feel like the little whores you are. Eat it.
Well, see, the problem is mostly, it's not the A's that smell like tuna fish.
This guy's got some kink. You can give him that.
That's
What
true.
did we do, sir? Unnamed sir. Could you please email me back and let me know what we did to deserve to
Yeah,
get
only cowards don't list their names, buddy. That's going to happen. Welcome to the internet.
to get ran through by a rancid toy?
Troll.
Rancid.
Troll.
That's like one level lower than
He's probably got a lot of rancid toys, but that's a whole
I
other
don't know
story.
how we're entitled here.
We weren't going to talk about his porn career either, were we?
yeah.
No,
Lewis,
good now, apparently he's describing it.
how are we entitled?
Yeah, that's what I'd like to know.
We're all entitled.
Trust me, I'm not driving a BMW. I guarantee that.
All entitled effers.
Um,
F-curse. We're just mad. We're just mad because the industry passed you by and we didn't evolve. Isn't that funny?
Evolved to what? I mean,
I think it'd be hard to say when they pass us by when we're constantly throwing wrenches into it.
I kind of stopped and did my own paper 10 years ago because I didn't like the way the industry was evolving in the first place. I didn't want to be part of it,
Yeah.
especially getting distributed by idiots, who just kept moving hoops around. So
Oh yeah.
whatever. I think he's or her has got to, just being a troll. That's all. Thanks for listening, though. Make sure you hit the like button down there.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Fellas, I was hurt to get that email. It broke my soul.
I'm sure it did.
Somebody wanted my precious. Look, if there's one thing,
It's because somebody wanted to ram a rancid toy up your.
that's the one thing I'm afraid of. That's the one thing I'm afraid of. Like when I drop the soap in the shower, I look around still. Nobody be in the bathroom, but I look around.
I think that's the black man thing, maybe.
It could be. It could be a black thing.
I don't know why you look around. I've never been to your house, so honestly,
I'm just, and my wife has a bad habit of coming up behind me if I'm ever bent over and grab me by both sides of my cheeks and saying, and
only because you do that to her breasts every time you.
apparently, Varian doesn't care if we ever get to sleep. Because I know I'm going to close my eyes tonight. I'm going to be seeing that, and I
turnabout's fair play. Oh yeah, just wait until you're sleeping.
now redefines the word turnabout, doesn't it?
Yes.
Professor Trico. Professor Trico says, I backed my first Indiegogo last weekend. I'm only 10 years behind the trend. I tried what project was that you backed? He also told me that he actually I asked him about it. He had backed the Kickstarter. He got a Kickstarter book on Monday that he backed in like 2014, 2015. He just got it.
He just got his perk. Oh
yeah.
No!
Wonderful Kickstarter fulfillment policy.
Oh, that's prime notice for you.
M3SOZ says, well, if these guys call an audience and they get used to looking at Indiegogo campaigns, there could be a lot of runner support. If it could continue, it could be awesome. And that's true. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think that, as good as it is that people are contacting and able to like kind of go online and see videos from their favorite creators, there's still something to be said for going to meet that person in the flesh, shaking their hands, maybe getting a signed sketch of the show. I still think shows have a place in the industry.
Oh yeah, who was it? I think a few years ago. I think Gene Ha, he would go to C2E2 and he would use the C2E2 show as a starting point, as a launching platform for his crowdfunding. Mm-hmm. And I think he would constantly, almost that weekend, he would be fully funded. He'd make this big deal about the campaign kicking off, and C2E2 is the place where it's going to start, and he'd have a panel room devoted to it, and all kinds of neat things like that.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah, that's one possible aspect of going to physical shows that could play into whatever crowdfunding you've got going.
Well, right email, Ted. That means there was no name attached to it.
Yeah, there's no name attached to the email, Ted. They were very select. I do have their email address, but it's probably just something they made up. It was a Yahoo address, as a matter of fact. So
that's been made up for a while, because who in the heck uses Yahoo anymore? Whatever. It's probably a troll box that he uses or she uses to troll people with.
M3SOZ says, that's a funny comment. I think the industry is passing everyone by looking at the sales numbers and big names doing their own crowdfunding. And yeah, I think that
I think that's reverse. It's not the industry that's passing or evolving past everybody. It's just that they're evolving downward so fast that everybody else is moving on. So, and a lot of that has to do with that. Again, DDO's complaints about not being able to find talents. A lot of that talent's moving over to other creative areas where they can be, more creative and better paid.
Oh yeah, I agree, because the notion that so many of those artists, there's so much talent out there, and but nobody really wants to just sit around waiting for the editor to call them or to get back with their submission, and when they, even if they're not completely up to professional standards, they still have the ability to produce material, and they got stories they want to tell. So,
yeah. And Marvel and DC really stopped looking at conventions 10, 20 years ago.
Which was, and that was a huge mistake. Yeah.
And when they do have an event, they make a big joke out of it. I mean, they had a competition for DC to get in, and they're like, I'm sitting there looking at who they had put in. I'm like, what are you talking about? This person has to go through your competition when he's already won a freaking Hugo Award as a writer. It's like, what the hell? And so they made him write an 8-page backup in DC Showcase of Poison Ivy, and I'm like, yeah, he should probably just be writing Batman, kick Scott Snyder, kick Tom King, kick all these fuckers out. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
That's why you can't find anybody, because anybody who's worth a damn doesn't want to go crawling through the fields of flaming shards of broken glass to kiss their ass.
Well, and there's very little. They have very little reason to do that if they've got the option of putting out a crowdfunding together and and getting the backing to do it themselves.
It's just another option. The thing is they're finding out through the crowdfunding that they can get paid better than working at Marvel and DC, and that should make Marvel and DC very concerned.
That's very true. And
but again, also, you have to build up that audience first. So
yeah, and the ability to have your own production of a comic book literally at your fingertips. Mm-hmm. I mean, back in the day, Brandy, you and I with Arrow Comics, doing the August or doing the other books Arrow was doing, you know how much trouble it used to be or how much work it was to get a package together to send off to a printer physically.
Oh yeah,
and have them burn plates and run the issues and bind them, and I mean it was incredibly physically intensive.
I had printing an hour and 15 away from my house, so I could prep a book and take it over to him, but it was still 2 weeks before I would get back any physical copies because of all the production work he had to do.
Yeah, and that was a color cover and all black and white interior.
Yeah.
If you wanted to do color, the cost was out of this world.
Yep, astronomical. Where with the paper that I was doing, because it was all newsprint, no slick cover, nothing that he had to farm out for, or no staples that he had to put into it. He could turn that job around for me. I could take PDFs down to him. He was 20 minutes from my house, large web press. He could turn a job around overnight.
Which printer?
I'd have the paper the next day.
Were you guys printing through Quebecer or Quebecer World at the time?
No, we were printing through Printy. Press and Litho. They were the same guys who printed Cerebus.
Okay.
Yeah.
They were in Windsor, and I wanted to run with them because they had already made every comic book publishing mistake that you could imagine, printing, a couple hundred issues of Cerebus.
Yeah.
So we were just, another book in their system, another book in their queue.
Yeah, but you see nowadays though, compare that to now. You just create your files, you do your artwork on your desk or on your computer, You load it up, you color it, you letter it, you send away the file with a click, and it shows up on your doorstep a week later. I mean, my God.
Sometimes it's two if it's a color book. So depending upon the publisher, the printer, and how much of a backlog they have. Yeah.
Yeah, but the physical pre-production press work is it's so easy these days. Like Lewis was saying, you got all these talented people, and if they've got the ability to do it themselves, they can just do it.
These youngsters and their newfangled technology. That's what it is. These crazy youngsters. God damn it. You put everything up into a cloud now and just pull it down.
They don't know how to use an X-Acto knife. My God.
Yeah. That's what I tell them. If you don't know how to do rubylith and amberlith separation, son, you haven't truly lived. Sit there and work for 3 days on a t-shirt design, doing 5 color separations, making sure everything's lined up. There's nothing like it. Where you can sit now in Photoshop in 10 minutes and have it all done, even for printing shirts and making sure all of your angles are right, so you don't end up with more A patterns and all of that for silk screening. Oh, it's amazing.
Registration marks,
night and day. I won awards using rubylith and amberlith separations. I used to take a watercolor painting and separate it into a 5-color shirt. But, that's a skill that's completely useless now.
When's
the last time somebody used some Zipatone on their stuff,
Oh, yeah. Or
let alone duo shade board.
Or an Ames lettering guide. Or
I still have an Ames lettering guide around here.
Yeah.
I can show it to somebody now who does comics. They wouldn't know what the heck it is.
Somebody mentioned Letraset hand press lettering with the burner shirt and all that.
Oh yeah, sitting here all day. Yep.
SOZ says the industry was better when they were actively looking for talent. I agree.
Wait. Before we go to this question, I'm gonna go back to the last one that said that guy thinks you're looking at porn.
Oh yeah, Professor Trace.
Is it or no?
Varian is looking so intently at his PC, it must be porn. I was actually looking at the program, the software that we used here.
Sure.
And,
just a Trico knows Varian real well. That's why.
What's the next question? What is
a statement from M3SOZ? He says the industry was better when they were actively looking for talent.
I think so.
Well, yeah, of course. The problem is they chased off all the good talent about 20 years ago, and they haven't bothered to look since.
They just look through Tumblr. And you guys see this?
They just went to Tumblr. Is that what
they start searching Tumblr for talent now?
Is there about a con?
Any of you guys have a couple con with my wife?
Does he mean the classic version of hookup, or if that's the case, yeah. I'm not gonna lay next to any of you guys. That noise.
No, I've never hooked up at a con. I just.
But then again, I don't know, Lou. I mean, I just see you from the chest up. If you got a really killer waist and a bum, you know, might be.
No, not anymore.
Typical artist with the typical artist hump.
You had your chance. I don't offer that to everybody.
Who's got time to hook up at a con? If you're hooking up at a con, you're not selling books, are you?
After hours, I'm soaking my feet in the hot tub for. Oh my god! There you go. Never hook up at a con.
I hooked up before a con, going to a con, but not.
Yeah.
I've never. I'm with my wife. I mean, that's it. If I'm
lucky. The thing is, along a slightly related topic, I mean, there was a time when you go to convention and you wouldn't see any women. I mean, it was all just us poor schlubs walking around in our various, conditions and ailments. But
so it was like high school. The sex you were wanting, you didn't get. The sex you got, you didn't want.
What's that? What'd you say?
They say prison is like high school. The sex you want, you ain't getting. Sex you getting, you don't want.
For those of us lucky enough to have sex in high school,
back during our prime, everything was very male oriented, very misogynistic, and very few women at these shows. And when they did, it was somebody's girlfriend or somebody who was there because they liked Sandman or ElfQuest.
Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah,
so it took a long time to get girls at the show, and when they did started coming to shows, they were all dressed like Vampirella. So
that's true, which wasn't a bad thing,
and had long lines. So.
But now, oh my God,
mostly from guys going by, going, how do you think you got that to stay there? It's got to be some spirit gum.
That tape,
it's got to be tape. That was the big conversation.
Oh,
and the fact that everybody had to have a picture. That's how what's her face broke into the showbiz. Coming dressed as Poison. What was her name? Used to hang around with Dennis Rod. Carmen Electra. Carmen Electra started out as a Poison model.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's how that began.
Oh, and Varian is the little thing about the sex reminds me of a joke I just heard the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said, drinking American beer is like having sex on the beach. It's really close to water.
No, it's effing close to water.
It's effing close to water. Okay, that's right.
It's an old Monty Python joke.
Oh, I love that. That's good.
Yeah. Randy?
Yeah.
A lot of questions, but I want to get your take on something that was said in the first of all, I got great news for everybody.
Oh,
great news. I didn't do a graphic for it, but I do have some video for it. A video clip for it. But
you can always break your broadcast up into sections, news and letters, and
I could.
Need to have little graphics slide by doing different things.
Saint Jeppy
says
that the industry is okay. Everything is fine. Randy, should I run the clip?
Run the clip.
Everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you?
That was Jeppy at the San Diego Con this last weekend.
Oh, Steve.
Yeah, Steve Jeppy talking about the nature of the business.
Everything's great.
Everything's fine now here. We're all good. We're all fine now. Yeah, we're good. How are you? Don't come down here. There's a radiation leak. Don't come down here. We're getting the situation under control.
That's awesome. That would be.
When Varian sent me that article, that's the first clip I thought of. That's exactly what it was. It was Han Solo talking there to the big guys upstairs. Oh, that's how the industry's fine now. We're all good.
Good.
Everything's great. He said, then he pulls up. This is I thought you were going to pull a clip of Jeppy actually giving that talk because it was so great because he was up there talking about how strong the industry was. And then he did a PowerPoint presentation with the actual numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like comics are down, graphic novels are down, but hey, Funko Pop, that's up 4%. Industry's doing great.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
All the percentages were real small, so overall we're up like 2%, but it's because Funko Pop is up 4%, and the other everything else is down.
I don't know if you guys can hear this. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but when I read that article, it was. Bruh. Can you guys hear that at all? Can you guys hear that sound effect at all?
Run it again.
Bruh.
Barely.
Bruh. Yeah, it was that the bruh.
Huh.
Yeah, that or
He needs some milk.
You need some milk. Okay.
Yeah, it can be raw. That's an inside joke, Scott. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'll catch up sooner or later.
I could not believe this man was up there
With a straight face. That's the whole thing. He was giving a serious presentation about how great the industry was. We're solid. We're solid. We're good.
You know what? When I
going down a damn drain, but we're great.
When I seen the article,
For Funko Pops.
I thought it was gonna say, and then Dennis Barger said, but Dennis wasn't there. And
I think Dennis ran a whole row over on Facebook about it.
yeah,
You probably did.
It's basically the same thing that we were saying. You're down, but thank goodness for Funko Pops. But then, everybody, the answer to that is everybody who's our age all remember Beanie Babies.
Oh yeah,
and I'm seeing them Funko Pops are just as popular as Beanie Babies used to be back at their height. There's collectibles and rare ones and ones that everybody's chasing for hundreds of dollars. And you have go ahead.
The ones that would run out of edition, so they became more scarce.
Yep. Special editions given away at only certain places. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
a couple years from now, everybody will be begging. They'll be going, "I got Funko Pops," and everybody will be going, "Well, no thanks."
Yeah, exactly.
I hate to bring it up, but yes.
There he is.
There he is. Hey, business is good. We're solid. Did I tell you I owned a basketball team? Hey, I own part of the
basketball team.
Celtics.
Really? I did not know that. Okay.
Oh yeah, he invested. He diversified his income pretty hard.
Okay.
Look at it. Look at the ads.
He doesn't have as much money as he used to, though. And he definitely doesn't have as much money as he had 10 years ago.
Varian, scroll that down a little bit. I want to see that.
I had to come off of
We
it.
should read that article. Can we read it without you getting a copyright strike, you think?
I think we can. Hold on. Let me go back. Give me a second. There
That goes back to that last Trolls remark, doesn't it? Bleeding Tool.
There was a comment. There was a line there that said, "Bleeding Cool was."
Yeah, it's from Bleeding Cool.
Yeah, they said they gratefully allowed us to come in the door.
Diamond, Rich Johnston, who is supposed to be the head honcho of Bleeding Cool, even though he really isn't.
Can't believe you said Rich Johnson name on my broadcast, man.
Well, sorry. Basically,
Let's just refer to him as the guy who runs that shill site.
Yeah, he likes to pretend that he's unliked by the big companies because he's exposing them when he's really not doing anything of the sort.
Kissing everybody's behind is what he's doing. The comic industry is alive and well. That was the message to the assembled retail lunch crowd at Diamond Comic Con today. The annual gathering of tribes of comic book store owners, managers, and employees with distributors, publishers, and creators. And very grateful, Bleeding Cool was allowed through these hollow doors, where we were greeted by owner and CEO of Diamond Comic Distributors and many ancillary companies, jab, 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 Steve Jeppy, who had that central message for us all. And I have a bridge. Anyway, Jeppy told the crowd that he takes a lot of pride in knowing movie industry would be dead without the comic industry, and encouraged retailers to keep believing. Don't stop believing. Isn't that Steve Perry? Yes. The comic industry, that Diamond is here to do all they can to help you, as long as they make money. And Kroger has fresh food.
Yeah.
Through the initial figures that followed were a little more worrying. As Bleeding Cool previously pointed out, sales are down ever so slightly when it comes to comics, though toys appear to be having a bit of a boom. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Graphic novels down 2.335% from last year. This in the first half of the year.
And
Where is that? You're trying to adjust it. It keeps focusing.
Should I go down or up? Where are we at?
Comics are down. Comics are down 0.27%. Graphic novels are down 2.25%. Total comics and graphic novels are down. What is that?
0.5%.
0.5%. But hey, toys are up. Oh, it's at 24.92%.
yeah.
25.
Yay for Funko Pops.
Yep.
The Beanie Babies of their generation.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all coming, buddy. There's that, the road, Wile E. Coyote
That's
painted
why
that.
Toys R Us is able to open up new stores.
Yeah. Wile E. Coyote has painted that tunnel entrance on the side of the cliff.
Yeah.
They're watching people run straight for it.
Why did no one stand up in the back of the audience when he was giving that speech and why not?
That's a silly question, Varian. Do people these are retailers and employees. Do they want to keep getting their books, or do they want them mysteriously lost in the mail? It's that simple. It's that simple. And Diamond is not above doing that.
Yeah. I mean,
just ask a few key retailers and publishers who's had that happen too.
What if it was male oriented? It sold to a good audience, made big companies.
So he was talking about the content. So what if it was male oriented?
So what if it was male orientated? Okay.
That's from M3SOZ. And the industry was very, very male oriented, and nothing's wrong with it being diversified now.
Well, if you go back and you look at comics have always been male oriented. Since the first comics, they bled off from comic strips. They found more boys were reading comic books than girls were, and the superheroes at the time, especially during World War II, really slanted to a male perspective. Plus, you had the 50s and good girl art, Betty Page, the girly cheesecake magazines out for the day. You saw even the Archies and the slice of life comics that came out in the 50s were more male oriented. So they've always catered to not primarily to a male audience, but to a wider audience that was mostly skewed male.
Mm-hmm.
Until the direct market started. Once the direct market started, then it really went misogynistic. Once Image started, I think it went really circle templated.
Image had way too much steroids
with the overblown, the bigger defined. But Marvel was already heading that way with X-Force, and they already had all of that talent that was already drawing that. Just because Image started doesn't mean that became prevalent. It just became super obvious.
Well,
that kicked in.
Hyper.
We had a whole bad girl series, circle template age is what I call it.
Oh yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
When all of the artists grabbed those circle templates and French curves and said, "Here we go."
Yeah.
Then it really skewed, man.
Yeah, you all the Jeff Campbells and the
we don't have to name names, but it's all of those people, yeah. All of those guys, all of the people that Varian really likes.
I knew he was gonna go there.
Probably watching right now on that screen of his.
You knew that was coming.
I knew that was coming. I was watching some smaller documentaries on Amazon Prime, and they got documentaries on everybody. Someone's done a documentary on the Cuberts. Somebody did a documentary on on Ditko. Just a little, but they were like small 35-minute, like almost YouTube videos in a way, glorified YouTube videos. And I was thinking while looking at some of the art, and my son came in the room and looked at one of the Ditko art pieces, and he says, Daddy, I don't like that man's art. And my hand went up. I had to calm myself because what was this in Ditko art? However,
He said he did like that man's
he
art.
did not like it.
Oh, okay.
He did not like Ditko's art. He thought Spider-Man looked weird. And
By today's standards, yeah, I could see that because Ditko had a very individual style.
Yeah, but very dynamic, masterful in his design and control the anatomy, all kinds of good stuff. You're saying, go ahead.
No, yeah, it's just that those guys, they look, you can look at it, and from those, that was the era that comics seemed to be selling pretty well in, or people seem to want to get back to. I don't think though that, and you guys are gonna probably dislike me for saying this. I know Lewis said, and he signed out, so I can say it now. He said he stopped like early 2000s, like I think it was early 2000s, like with Marvel and DC. It took me, like to 2016, where I was like, okay, I can't take this anymore. Patsy Walker Hellcat broke me.
Oh,
Couldn't deal with it.
Great. Patsy Walker was awesome.
No. He's not the version that Varian's talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, this one is this one is bad. She's trying to find a job. Like that was the story arc. She was trying to find a job. You are a superhero. I mean, I get it. You need income, but if you notice what they do with the Marvel comics now, the characters, I get it. I get the Marvel idea is always to have the characters have relatable problems, but when you have Blade being a babysitter, at that point you might as well have I mean, I'm waiting for somebody to drive. I'm waiting for Ghost Rider to drive for Uber.
Variant, show him my screen. I'm sharing my screen here and show him what you're talking about for Patsy Walker Hellcat.
Look at them eating. Look at them eating. That's all they do. That's all they do. That's all they do in the books now. They eat. They eat. They eat. Every comic. That's why I got fat. I kept seeing all this food, and I got hungry. I'm suing Marvel.
Let's see that go through.
That's my truth.
Well, that harkens back to those to the furry freak brothers and all that. I mean, they were constantly munching.
Oh no! There's a whole different reason why the furry freak brothers wanted to eat back during those days.
Oh yeah, because they're always high.
It's a whole different reason.
You guys are probably gonna start yelling at me.
The big problem now with those comics is a lot of those a lot of the writers are writing themselves. They're not writing a character. They're taking an easy way out, and they're writing their problems into the character a lot more than the character into problems that they might have experienced. It's a whole different style of writing.
You guys are gonna probably start yelling at me, but I can mute your mic, so I'm not worried about it. But what's a furry freak brother?
What's that?
What's a furry freak brother?
Oh my god! let me start off. Randy, you pick it.
Scott, I just want to, before you start up, I just want to tell you that a couple of weeks ago, Varian asked who Wally Wood was.
Oh my god! Oh, Varian. Oh my god!
There's that face. That's the face that I just gave you when you asked who a furry freak brother is. It's okay, young. It's all right.
Do not worry. Do not fret. We will. All things. We'll show you our Woody. I mean, we'll show you.
That's not what you wanted to say.
I lost control. I'm sorry. I was so upset.
It is 10 o'clock, though. 10 o'clock.
Let's turn the cap. Now it's time.
That's another header that you need. Or, news, opinion, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, well, now.
I can see that opening too. It would end with the sound bite. We're not going to talk about our porn careers.
Like a 2-minute warning or something before we.
Okay. Yeah. Varian, Furry Freak Brothers was a very popular underground comic book series of the 60s, where it was very much driven through counterculture. You could find them. You had a hard time finding them on the newsstands, if ever. You'd have to go to some of the early head shops where they sold drug paraphernalia and all this. Now they're called vape shops.
Yeah.
But they were put up by guys like Robert Crumb and Fieldstein? No.
Sheldon.
Gilbert Shelton.
Yeah,
Gilbert Sheldon.
And they were the Freak Brothers was three friends whose main purpose in life was just the next buzz.
Can you share my screen?
Sure. Give me 1 second. Let me. Why am I looking at
Gilbert Sheldon. Freewheeling Franklin says, dope will get you through times of no money better than money will get you through times of no dope.
Yeah, exactly. Classic line.
There's the Freak Brothers.
Oh, let me see. Hold on. Is that it?
Yes. There's the Freak Brothers. There's Freewheeling Franklin right there.
Oh,
There's another Freak Brothers. Nope, didn't work. Where are we at?
Now we're on an itinerary.
That's not it. Am I not sharing my screen?
Yeah, it just went away again.
Well, they
how about now? Is it there?
Not yet. Share, Randy, share.
But the Furry Freak Brothers was one of many underground comics, and that's where actually the natural evolution of that was the Hernandez brothers loving rockets, and who's the milkman, the toughest milkman on the planet?
Reed Fleming, world's toughest milkman.
Yeah, and I mean,
do you see that Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers high quality rolling papers?
Oh my God!
Do you see that?
Yeah,
I got it up on my screen. Is it up on?
No.
No.
And a lot of those underground comics were also fueled by a connection to some of the psychedelic rock that was going on, the Grateful Dead and the Yes and Cream, and all those bands had all the psychedelic artwork on their covers of their albums, and that was all playing into that counterculture. You could also buy the lot of these underground comics at record shops back when they were just stores for records or maybe tape cassettes and such. So and these comics are very well done. I mean, Robert Crumb and Sheldon and all those guys, they were hilarious, even if you weren't high. I mean, they were just funny books. Very entertaining. But
so what you're saying is we should bring back Ella.
Are we there yet? We're not there yet. Nope. Never mind. Did you see any of that?
No, it wouldn't come up. I didn't see.
Make sure you
couldn't
click
share
share on the model. Oh, okay. Maybe I'm not working it right.
But what got us
I'll
on?
do. What, Scott?
What got us onto the first?
I think it was just there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I got to figure out this newfangled technology. That's what it is.
Yeah. Lewis, did you ever
All right, never mind. Anyway, yeah.
Did you ever delve into the underground or mid-level ground comic?
Not that specific stuff, but yes, I was. That's where I actually started, was in the underground around the early '90s, and I started self-publishing stuff out of Central Michigan University.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a great area for comics around the mid-state, the campuses of Michigan. Oh, yeah, it's a great place for comics.
He was up at CMU around Mount Pleasant.
Oh, yeah. There's a professor at Michigan State that's got this most phenomenal collection, and I forget his name, but I see him every so often at almost any Michigan show that's a fair size.
I want to say Andy Ward, but that might not be right.
I don't think that's him. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. I mean, and not to mention MSU's got this tremendous collection of comics as part of the official
library.
The library of the college. Yeah, it's just amazing. I've never seen it, but I've always heard about it. I want to see it so badly. Oh, it'd just be awesome. Awesome.
It's supposed to be over 300,000 items.
Yeah, I can believe it. And there's one professor, and he's going to kill me for not remembering his name right now. But anyway, he not only has a great collection of comics himself, but he has a huge collection of original art that he got from way back in the day from guys like Neil Adams and Joe Kubert and from Robert Crumb and a lot of these people. He knew everybody. And he would be another one that would be a great field trip. I'll get my band together, come pick you three guys up, and we'll go. Well, I won't pick you up, Lewis. You're too far away. But It'd be a worthwhile trip. It's just amazing string of history you could learn from this. Just amazing.
Scott, do you mind if I pull your website up and show it?
My Facebook page.
Well, yeah, your artwork. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Let's see here. This I can pull your comic art fans gallery up too.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. All right, there we go.
Lord knows I can't do it, so you might as well.
So here we are with some artwork. I believe I have this. Maybe.
Boy, last update on 17. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a color pencil of Lindy Carter,
who's coming back for the Crisis on Infinite Earth.
I heard. Isn't that going to be awesome? Oh, I can't wait to see her.
They're going to go after everybody eventually. That's their goal.
No,
they've got the full blessing of Warner executives too. They said, do what you want.
Oh, that very well might be DC's or the DCU little that's their little trick to hang their hat on.
Yep. That's what they're hoping.
I mean, they should.
It's going to draw a lot of us back in.
Maybe they should have did a movie like that.
Yeah. Oh,
no, they're going to do that mini series, the whole Crisis on Infinite Earth. They're going to run two. I think it's 2 or 3 episodes before the break, and then 2 episodes after the break, just to leave everybody hanging in a big cliffhanger. But they're just now getting around to announcing the people as they get them signed on. Who's coming back?
This is all pencil, right?
Yeah, this is all again color pencil, Prismacolor. Yeah. Now, if you want to quick pop back to the listing there, this Captain America.
Right here.
I'll call that up. This is something I've done a few examples of, but this is a cover recreation I did.
Okay.
One of my favorite covers of Captain America, Jack Kirby and Joe Sinnott and all this.
Yeah.
And that's where I wish you could zoom in on it, but that's the kind of thing where I have this kind of drafting ability where even the little numbers and the TMs and the lettering, that was all done by hand. Even the little Comics Code Authority seal.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was all 1-point pen and all that kind of stuff. It was really fun to do.
What type of paper is that on?
That was on 1-point Bristol 500 grade Strathmore. Very high quality paper. So I beat the hell out of it while I was drawing, and it held up nicely.
Cool.
But that's the kind of stuff I've done probably 6 or 7 of those types of covers.
Are those commissions or just something you do for fun?
Mostly people commission me for it.
Cool.
So I actually have one I'm working on now. Oh, here we go. This one is the if you can see it, it's I lay the paper over and I trace the baseline for it. So that's the cover of Fantastic Four number 55. And I'm doing
barely make it out, but you can make it out.
Yeah, barely make it out. But anyway, so yeah, I'm just doing that for the fun of it. But mostly I do those when people commission me.
Yeah.
So
very nice.
Yeah, very fun to do. Very fun to do.
Now I mentioned I was at Kentokyo Con this weekend, which is the anime festival. But I was with Eric Hodson, who's been on the show before, and Eric does at that particular show, he's had a bunch of prints that he had done of anime characters from different.
Oh yeah.
And people would come up to him, and some people thought they were just like screen caps from the show, but they're not. This Eric has to match the style of the show. His idea is that every drawing will look like a sale from the show, and
that's a nice look.
And just trying to keep the look of the original content in line with what he was drawing. And people were, coming to him and they were kind of shocked by that, that he could do that. And I've been able to do it, emulate a style. Obviously, looking at this Captain America piece, you having a problem emulating styles. Is it difficult for you, or is that something that you just, you pick up a book and someone tells you, hey, draw this like Jack would draw it, or draw this like Bernie Wrightson would draw it?
I've never tried to emulate Wrightson, for one thing, so I don't think I want to sacrifice my wrist.
Yeah,
but
Depends on what you're doing with Bernie.
Yeah,
you have to do Frankenstein, but you might be able to pull off Captain Stern.
Well, his Captain Stern was awesome. Yeah, because that was where he had far more simpler solid blacks and very little shading. It was very, very cool style. But yeah, I in terms of emulating these kind of styles, it's really a matter of I kind of have to set my brain on a certain setting and just think pure technical recreation. And the hardest thing is deciding how I'm going to recreate this particular line or that one. Am I going to use a pen? Am I going to use either a technical pen or a dip speedball pen or a brush? What size brush? That kind of thing. And it takes a lot of effort to do it in a way so that I don't use any whiteout and I try not to smear any ink. And it's really it's more of an exercise in precision more than anything. But again, that's one of my little skill sets I had since I was a kid, that I could just look at something and draw it as I see it, and it'd be pretty accurate. And I've always said that I've got that probably from my dad, who he was a truck driver, but he built houses on the side for extra money. And he was just one of those kind of guys that he could plumb a straight line just by looking at it. He wouldn't use a ruler. He could just plumb it straight down a house and it'd be perfectly parallel with another line. And it was just, so I think it's just this kind of this genetic thing where, you can not quite Hawkeye level, but that's just part of my skill set since I was a kid.
How about you, Randy? Is it hard for you, Randy, at all? The emulator style?
I don't do a whole lot of that, but I can lightbox, like the best of them. Sure.
Lewis, you?
I've inked some Kirby stuff before that's turned out really fun.
Okay.
Off of his pencils just to do it,
Oh yeah.
I don't think there's an inker out there who hasn't inked over Kirby at one point or another just to do it.
Or salt. I mean, she has to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Lewis?
I'm known for jumping styles live at shows.
Have you? Oh, no kidding.
So it's like, oh, you draw like Byrne? Okay, fine. Oh, you want to draw like Jim Lee? Here, do this, do that, do that. And it's some people just go, how does he do that? Because I don't have any reference. It's draw that style in, that character in this.
Yeah. Drawing from memory. Yeah.
Not even from memory. It's like, I want this Byrne pose, but I want you to draw it in Jim Lee's style.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't need content there sitting there for me to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It
depends on the artist. If you give me something I'm not used to drawing, I can't do it. But I don't know who the Witcher is, the Witcher characters that much for the video game or something.
Yeah.
Sure, book actually, sir. It's a novel.
Okay.
Isn't it Polish?
It's a video game?
Polish set of novels.
They made a video game. The video game is probably more popular than the novel, but still.
Okay, then. All I know is the people come to me saying it was a video game. So they I have to Google that up on my phone and look at it. But other than that,
those people are going to be upset when that Netflix series starts, because that Netflix series is based on the novel, not the book.
Well, that's going to have Henry Cavill in it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the Witcher character.
Those people are
well, the thing is, Lewis, your style's got a nice boldness to it too. Mm-hmm. And I think it's always a little easier for those of us who have a bolder style to be able to pare it down to something a little bit more delicate or a little finer. Versus, I know a lot of artists these days.
Well, when I started out getting finders, because I was an inker and I had to learn from Austin and learn from those guys.
Yeah, wow.
I had to learn from those guys. So that's how I got the finer detail, is just, if I got to do what Austin does, I got to look at how he does it. You know?
Oh yeah, jeez. They're just by.
Oh, this isn't Wingman. I'm sorry.
Oh wait. What,
Oh yeah, he wants to.
what do you? What,
I'm like, what is that? That's not my book.
Varian?
I was bringing up. I had Lewis's art book next to me, but I don't know where it's at now. It's in my stuff here. Yeah, he reached it.
I beat you to it.
Yeah,
What's a
promising? Yeah.
a little higher up? What is that? A little closer.
That's my most recent art book.
Oh, nice. Is that a collection of sketches you did, or?
Yeah, it's a little history book of my career. That's my Inks Over Gene, you mentioned earlier.
Oh, nice. Nice.
That was some of like my stuff. This is from like '93 when I was first getting in. Let's see. You remember John Dennis from Caliber? Randy worked with him on The Realm.
I know the name. Randy, you remember him?
Oh yeah.
That was his test pages for Thor that I did some inking on.
That's nice.
Well, wrong direction. That's good.
Still. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, see, in the like Randy, when like the thing is, what's always been what I've always liked about your cartooning, if I may, is that it has this boldness to it. It has a confidence to it, and that's what happens, I guess, when anybody gets professional level. Is that it's where the lines and the drawing becomes more confident looking. And I think a lot of people make the mistake of thinking the drawing has to be perfect, and it's not about being perfect. It's about being confident and about getting across what it is you're trying to get across.
Sneak in Michael
Turner.
That's it.
With me lately, especially the last 10 years or so, it's all been doing it to get it done. You know, usually creeping on a deadline or working off of a on a t-shirt design where the lines have to be bold.
Oh yeah.
In order to go through a silk screen. So that's where a lot of that comes from.
And most of what you're doing are doing silk screen versus, the direct to garment.
Pardon?
Are most of your shirts you're doing, are most of them done as silk screen versus direct to garment?
Depending upon the job. If I'm doing detailed artwork, I have an outside contractor that I do up the artwork and ship it to, or go over and visit. And it's the guy that actually Jason Moore still works for him.
Okay.
The guy it's been printing shirts for me for 30, 40 years, probably.
Oh, wow.
Wow. It's one of the bigger screen printers in the area. But if it's just a one color job and it's simple graphics or it's a lot of lettering, I can cut it right here on what they call Easy Weed, which is heat press vinyl.
Oh, okay.
And then heat press it onto a shirt. All of the Flint comic shirts that you saw that I had done that are one or two color, I did those all here at the house.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So in fact, I just got done printing a couple of onesies for my niece because she's having a baby. Printed a couple of little baby T-shirts that is in Harry Potter font that says "Snuggle this Muggle." Only takes a couple hours. Yeah, Varian's holding up some vellum samples that he has from a guy.
That's the whole to the screen, Varian.
Old time. You're blurry, Varian.
Am I blurry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Wow.
I don't know how much of that guys stuff you really want to show.
Yeah, be careful what you show there.
Yeah, I can show it.
You own it. You own it. You can show it.
Yeah, I paid good money for it. I still don't have the pages. That's what I got in lieu of pages. I got vellum samples. Yeah. The book never came out, unfortunately, just because of that. Let's see here, because I have let me see here. Yes.
Ooh,
Drama.
Who's drama?
Go ahead. Ooh,
Yeah.
drama.
We actually got through San Diego Comic-Con without having any huge like world breaking events in terms of, oh my God, they just killed the industry.
Kevin Feige apparently was the big hit at the show, and he was later he was quoted today as saying the biggest surprise was the fact that his presentation, people were actually surprised by his presentation because he didn't announce anything that wasn't already out in the news.
Yeah,
except for a few casting, details.
Yeah,
well, I did notice that they were
the Mashama or Ali's announcement as being Blade, I guess, was the biggest announcement that they did for the whole show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they talked about how he what's his first name, Mashaka or
Mashallah, I think.
Mashallah Ali. He went to them after he won some big awards. Said, I want to play Blade.
Well, he's got a big genre background. He started acting in 4400 in the USA series 4400. I don't know if you ever saw that or not, but that was the first gig where he got noticed. And then once he started getting bigger acting gigs, and he was Cottonmouth for Luke Cage.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So he just wants to be in there because he probably likes comics as much as you and I.
He was also the main villain for Battle Angel Alita, James Cameron's movie.
Was he?
Oh well,
the one that hardly nobody has seen that I hear is so great. I mean, really good.
Yeah, it is. I think that 10 times more than any Marvel movie I've seen this year.
Wow.
Really? Wow.
I want to sit down and watch that sometime real soon.
My beautiful MCU. I won't have it.
Your beautiful MCU.
Here to defend me.
I think you notice they just announced that they had signed him. They probably had just done that right before San Diego so that he could go, I'll do the con. I'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can tell when somebody's enthusiastic like that.
Yep.
He's walking in with Blade on his hat. That's pretty cool.
And I know I can only get a good laugh out of Randy, but one bit of drama, and we kind of talked about this online and on my Facebook, and it turned into a nice long thread, was DC announced that they're going to have some titles that are going to be returnable.
What?
Yeah.
They're gonna before the end of the year, they're gonna make all their titles returnable, I suspect.
Wow.
I'd be surprised if they did that. But what they're offering is returnability on number ones because they know all the retailers are hot at Marvel because Marvel went through and overshipped everybody on a ton of number ones, never told them. And then Diamond charged them for shipping.
Oh, wow.
So you ordered 5 Icemen, you got like 25 or 50.
Oh, my God.
And then Diamond charged them for the weight for shipping the books to them unannounced to the retailers. So the retailers still had to take on that big expense, even though Marvel flooded them with product. This way, DC's allowing the retailers to over order and spend the money and then get returned back to them, probably in a credit, I would imagine.
Yeah.
No kidding. Oh,
Yeah, for any of the number ones that they want to return. And it's all their major, kicking off books, which is why they're offering returnability. Well, they want the retailers to take that chance.
Well, if DC is going to accept returnables, I mean, they're not physically set up to do it. They don't have the facilities to handle returns like that, do they?
Well, they handle returns on certain titles that they make a mistake on already.
They'll ship them to Ollie's.
No, they won't ship them to Ollie's. They'll take them back in, and they'll either destroy them or turn them back around. But that might actually end up happening at Diamond. They might pay Diamond to take them in.
Yeah, I think Diamond takes them back.
Does Jeppy have he has the warehouses to take them back in, right?
Oh, he's got a huge facility in Memphis that's getting emptier by the day.
Oh,
as more and more comic product doesn't come out.
Okay.
And you'll notice DC is going to kick in this returnable project after they've already cut their line in half. Yeah. So, they cut down to 52 titles.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, they cut back. Marvel stepped up. They're trying to break the retailer any way that they can by flooding the market with anything that they can think of.
Why would they want to do that?
Because they don't care about the retailer. They just want the money. They want the money up front. And if the retailer goes out, it's some misogynistic old retailer that shouldn't have their business in the first place. Jeez. That's the way they're looking at it. And they figure their big market now is in the libraries, and anything left over they just blow out to Ollie's.
Oh,
for a dime on the dollar.
sounds to me like that's a walk on the high wire type strategy of doing a business.
Well, yeah, but they don't care. They're Disney, for one, and for two, that the people that are up there have no respect. And Marvel's never really had any serious respect for the direct market. They've tried to break it a couple times. They tried to be their own distributor back in the 80s. Remember how that went?
The Heroes World debacle.
Yeah. So that they really don't care much about they've tried kiosks in malls. They've tried any type of outside distribution that they can think of over the years. They haven't done anything like that recently, except now they're boasting how many copies are moving through the libraries.
Do you think
their graphic novel stuff?
Do you think that attitude's kind of grown worse ever since the popularity of the movies? They figure if they eventually just strangle the print market, they'll just...
No, it's not a matter of strangling the print market. They feel that the distribution system is flawed, that there's too many of the potential audience that's too scared to actually walk into a comic shop because it's a dingy place run by a misogynistic male who doesn't want females in their shop. That's the way they think about it. Instead of trying to re-educate a retailer or open up an education program for everybody in general to teach them that, comics aren't for men, solely for guys anymore, and that they actually are doing product to reach a wider, more varied audience. They just go out and proclaim that they want to be a lifestyle brand and teach you how to cook a proper salad the Juggernaut way on their videos. I am dead serious. I'm dead serious. That's what they do.
Oh my
don't they, Barry? And you can back me up.
I've seen those videos.
Yeah, wow. They've got videos out there of their of the executives up there talking about how they want to be a lifestyle brand, and they're doing all these just really horrible esoteric videos, and they are worse than the old wizard videos. Hey kids, let's go out and make a salad the way Juggernaut would make a salad.
Oh my God.
That kind of thing, and instead of out there trying to grow a level of awareness that the product is fun and entertaining and needs to go out there. There are still good comics being done, and they are trying to hit a wider audience. It's just that you have to buck the nepotism. You have to buck the favoritism that's always been there. That's just gotten worse over the years, and educate the retailers and the buying public that it's good for them to actually go to a comic shop in order to get their product.
This is a question that I didn't get a chance to.
I'm sorry, before you do that, Varian, just to drive the point home, they sold the licensing for their kids' books to IDW because they don't want to have that hassle anymore. It's too beneath them to try to grow a younger audience. They're giving it to IDW to do. And IDW is so strapped for cash, they're desperate to grab onto anything. So they're happy to do it.
Wow. So they just farm out that material to IDW.
Well, they tried licensing out to Archie for a year or two. Archie kicked out a whole series of digests that were really awesome that went to the grocery stores.
Oh, yeah.
Just like the Archie comics, that only ran to number 8, and they stopped. So apparently Archie either let the license lapse or Marvel pulled it back. And the reprints that they were doing were a mess anyway, because the first half of the book were all really awesome Silver Age reprints. Kirby and early Andrew, that kind of stuff. And then the back half was the more modern Marvel Adventure stuff, which was all dark and gringy and gritty looking because it was made to be printed on the white paper instead of on the newsprint that Archie printed on. So everything turned out real dingy. If you look here, I can get one. Just give me a second. Mm-hmm. I'm going to turn my camera off. You really have to see this. It's amazing.
I'd love to see it. Yeah.
Give me just a second. Let me get into my dungeon here.
He may not come back, folks.
Yeah.
Today's show is brought to you by Twix, all chocolate, all good.
Oh, now you made me hungry. Twix. Oh, I love Twix.
Chocolate.
Are you a left side or a right side?
Right side.
I had to get into my cellar here.
Depends which one has got the most.
Here we go. Here is the last Marvel digest that they did. It's number 8. It came out when the Venom movie came out.
Oh, wow.
It's like an Archie Comics digest, but look at this on the spine. You can literally see where the good reprints end and the bad Marvel Adventure reprints start up. I am not lying.
Kidding.
And they all should have been embarrassed by this, but you see in the front, it's all classic stuff. They usually run a couple of old Romita stories. Here's a classic Kingpin story done by Romita. Beautiful stuff. in the middle, it gets a little bit more modern. You get some Ron Friends rolling in there.
Yeah.
First couple of Venom stories, and then in the back, it's all a muddy mess.
Oh God.
Of Marvel adventure tales, which were made for the mass audience, all printed on newsprint, and all just dropped down and dull in the coloring, because it was made to be printed on that white paper, and Archie printed everything on newsprint because that's what they print on when they print the digests. Archie ran a few ads for their stuff between the comic stories, but these books were awesome. They ran for $6
or $7.99, I think.
Yeah, it was $6.99, and they're thick. They're nice and thick. They're a little harder to read, especially in the back when you get into the duller stories. That's not a good example because that's got an Archie ad. Here's a classic one. Look at how gray that looks.
Let me make it full screen, Randy.
You know, and that could have been just incredibly awesome compared to the stuff in the front, the Ron Friends material. Yeah. Here's a very early Venom story.
That was made to print on newsprint.
That was printed on newsprint. Yep. Yeah. Made to be cheap, made to be disposable. There's a Remita Kingpin, and they did one. Archie kicked out 8 of these. One of them came out. It was quarterly. Come out timed with Marvel movie.
Oh, okay.
So there was a Venom, there's a Spider-Man, there's an X-Men, there's a Wolverine, and it's all nice stuff. It was Marvel Comics Digest. I really wish DC would have done that too, and had done all these old, because DC's got a huge library, mostly single issue stories with just some great material. But if you look at the stuff that DC reprinted for Walmart, they did.
I love his spinner rack. I wish I had one. It's awesome.
Let me find the Spectaculars here, because I bought a bunch of those when they come out. The Spectaculars that they printed through Walmart, those were $4.99, 100 pagers, all printed on newsprint.
They're still doing those, aren't they?
They are. In fact, they had to open them up to the retailers because the retailers complained.
Wow.
That's a little brighter because that's all yellow.
Mm-hmm.
But here's a Justice League story. The coloring on this is a little better. The newsprint quality is a little higher.
Yeah.
But they're going to start. They're doing this now through the retailers, or through the regular retailers, and they're adding. I think it's 20 to 24 pages of original material. These have the opening story is about 18 to 20 pages. That's new stuff.
Oh wow!
And then everything else, but they don't reprint anything past 2003. They won't do it. And then the stuff they do reprint, they go through because of the Circle template era, like with Michael Turner.
Yeah.
They go through and they doctor up all of the females so that they're acceptable.
Oh hell
no! So the Wonder Woman volume has her in granny panties. They've trimmed off all of her curves.
Oh geez.
It's kind of insulting actually, because they should have left the artwork alone or found better. And when it comes to Wonder Woman, there's so many awesome different periods for the character that they could have done.
They keep doing it to his favorite artist.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's why I'm jabbing him. That's all, because I know how much he likes Turner.
Yeah, I want to get. I need to get to Walmart to pick up some of those. Those look good, cool.
Your local retailer is going to start carrying them here in a month or so. They're going to start them. They're going to start them all over with fresh #1s and different titles, and just keep running. But this book should have kept coming out, and I don't know exactly why Archie stopped it. But whether it was sales or what, but I dug up every last one of them because they were really cool. I like this size.
When did it stop? What year did it stop in, Randy?
Oh, they just stopped. This was back when the Venom movie came out.
So that was last year.
This is number 8. Yeah, last year.
Wow.
Let me check and see if I can find a
shift over when did Alonzo leave Marvel?
This is October of last year. That's when this stopped.
Yeah.
But Alonzo, I think, left beginning of last year, didn't he?
I think so. Yeah.
18.
Left? Is that what we're calling it now?
Yeah, that's what we're calling it. We're being nice. Yeah. We're not burning bridges here. We're being nice.
He left.
He left November 17. Okay.
I think his wife is still working for the company, if I'm not mistaken.
Still there,
yeah.
Okay, I was just thinking maybe it had to do with this changeover to when
it's probably a licensing contract that Archie had for a year and a half.
Yeah.
They decided to let it lapse or let it go. But I liked it. I thought that the format was really cool.
Real quick, one of the questions I didn't get a chance to ask, I didn't have a graphic for, was from Emily. Is it? No, I don't think it was. Well, it says Emily Z, but we know it's not Emily Zelasco. But it says, "Ever introduce someone to the industry that you wish you hadn't?"
That's a bizarre question.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say names, but yeah, there's a few people I introduced to the industry.
When they say introduced to the industry or to the medium, there's two different things.
No, is this? I'm gonna answer like the question is written, which is to the industry.
To the industry.
Anybody I brought to a Comic-Con and said, "Hey, sit at my table, sell some books." Yeah, I've done it a few times, and I probably wish I hadn't. To about.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut and plead the fifth on that one.
You're not going to let that question drag you down, eh, Lewis? All right. I would like to understand the basic. In what way would I wish I hadn't introduced somebody? It sounds like this person has a little bit of a backstory to that question. I've introduced quite a few people to the industry, but I guess in a way, maybe I wish I hadn't, in as much as I was hoping that maybe they would get involved, and they never did. So I kind of felt like I wasted my time. Maybe about as close as I can imagine. But I don't know why else I would wish I hadn't introduced somebody. Usually, it doesn't cost anything to say, "Hey, there's this convention coming up. You might want to." That's an interesting question. I don't know how to answer.
I mean,
what they're saying is, like in my case as a talent scout, there's certain people I've helped bring into the business who have now become a little bit too big for their britches, maybe flood the market a little bit too much, and they're a little bit of a asshole now. Do I regret having them in? Yeah, there's a couple, but I'm not going to name names.
Why not? Do they owe you money?
No, they don't owe me money, but I just.
Why so bad seeds? I understand. I can see that.
For me, it's a young lady who dislikes me out of nowhere all of a sudden.
She wanted to hook up,
and I didn't hook up. But every time I see her, I need Maylocks, and I know
what.
Every time
Maylocks, he needs Maylocks.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and I know that I'm going to if I ever attain some high level of fame, or the minute this channel becomes monetized, she's gonna come after me with allegations, and I'm just gonna, have to fend them off. I didn't do anything. I'm innocent, completely innocent.
Better start changing your address now.
Yeah. Here's my thing now. I'm innocent. I didn't do anything. I wasn't even there. I know what she did, but I wasn't there when she did it. Yeah. But she sat behind me at a show once. Didn't say anything to me. She knew it was me. I knew it was her. But because look, I'm the victim here. She should come over and apologize to me. So it was a very tense 4 days of her sitting behind me with her cuck of a boyfriend, and he was a cuck. Yeah.
Damn.
CK.
Oh, are we back in that language now? Because I can rattle off a couple words
after 10. It's after 10.
It is.
And
of course, we're not doing the burn bridges episode you guys did a few weeks ago, are we?
No. We should we spell burn with?
We still haven't done that episode. We still haven't done that episode. There's plenty out there. We're just too nice.
Let me tell you about that son of it.
Way too nice.
Way too nice.
Should we call the burn bridges episode? Spell it BYRNE.
No.
Oh no!
Everybody's got bad stories about Burn except me. I've seen him go off a couple times, but I haven't had any bad associations with him, and I truly enjoy his work. I wish that at times that he had a better inker or a better colorist, but that's just personal preference.
Oh yeah, I mean, his penciling is as good as it's ever been, but I do wish he would have somebody else to ink him with that. And I'd love to see Joe Rubinstein get back onto his pencils. Like
I still hold to the thought that that if the next men all had individual costumes, that he would be a lot farther along with that property than what he is now.
Yeah. What was it, Lewis?
That's just me.
He doesn't like Joe's Inks.
Oh, he doesn't?
Mm-mm.
Oh, wow. That's surprising.
He really likes Tom Palmer, and he likes Walt Simonson.
Oh, okay.
And he used to like Austin. I don't think he likes Terry's work on him these days, though.
Well, Palmer did an awesome job when he was doing X-Men Hidden Years.
Right.
I loved what Palmer was doing on Byrne then. But I'm with you, Randy. I've had interactions with Byrne before at conventions. He was always nice to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know there's a huge hate crowd out there for Byrne.
There's kind of an angry mob before the internet had trolls and angry mobs. He's one of the first ones to start attracting people like that.
Oh my God.
Jealousy. That's about the only thing you can relate it to. And you know, if you get up too early or you're in a wrong attitude when you're at a show, you can burn those bridges pretty easy, I guess.
Well, see,
so I've been told.
Yeah, John Byrne, the one thing that he always had going for him, that he was always incredibly confident. I mean, he always knew exactly what he's going to be doing and how he's going to do it and all this. I mean, you can't shake him with a 2x4 in a pickup truck. I mean, so I think a lot of people just have a little problem dealing with somebody who's just that sure of themselves. And I imagine that's where maybe some of that jealousy comes from.
Probably.
Favorite part of our show, where we talk about indie comics that we are backing through crowdfunding. I know that me and Randy probably have the same one this week.
It's my only one this week.
Yeah.
That's because, you know, I spent the last 24 hours, not really the last 24 hours, but I spent a day out doing research. So,
yeah. And then what book is that, Randy? Because I know it's probably the same for me.
That's that Pink Lemonade book by Nick that we had on the show last week.
Yeah.
I told him to make a tier where you bought one of everything, and he put a tier up there for one of everything. So I was happy to back that.
Okay.
Glad to see. And I posted it on Facebook too about how great that book looked, because it looks good and unique and was kind of amazing. So
I'm glad to see Nick actually crossed he was 400 something away from getting past $3,000.
He's way past that now. He deserves every bit of it. He deserves double that, really, for that book.
Nick who?
Nick Cagnetti.
Cagnetti, yeah.
Artist, creator on Pink.
If you look up Indiegogo under Pink Lemonade, I'm sure it's still up there. He's probably got his campaign still on demand so that anybody can still buy in if they want. If you want to call that up, Varian.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up.
I don't seem to be screen share savvy.
I just saw the Pink Lemonade thing somewhere. I forget where.
Yeah, probably on Facebook. I posted it.
Oh, that's where I saw it from. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This guy looks like his stuff looks like if Mike Allred and Ditko and Kirby just all kind of slammed together.
Oh, wow.
It's some crazy stuff. It looks really good. And it's nice and crisp and pretty. And, you know, it's as clean as Mike Allred.
If it's, is this the first of him doing that?
He's had a web strip for a while, but this is his first book. He's going to collect all the web strips next, right around December.
I see a lot of people doing that where they collect together the webisodes, I guess.
There it is. If you look at your screen, he's at 20 or 3281.
Yeah, I saw that. That's very all red. And
yeah, scroll down on that page, Varian. He's got a couple pages there, or at least he did. He might have pulled them. Look at that. They're gone.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope he didn't stop that campaign. Does it look like he stopped it?
It stopped.
Oh, he needs to put it back on demand. That's a shame.
Well, it's all funded, but
yeah,
still, he only had it going for how long?
I think it was 30 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got him. He's got.
We didn't see it until last week.
Little Steve Rude going on there, you know.
Yeah.
Well, very, very nice, very good style.
Yeah, if you were to see the pages, the first thing that I thought of when I saw him was Ditko and Kirby, just blended.
Oh yeah, when I see his bold style, Lewis, that reminds me of your stuff.
Really?
Yeah, that bold style, and you don't think so?
I don't know. I mean,
I mean, your stuff is a bit more involved,
Yeah.
but that bold.
What?
I mean, it depends on what I'm doing, I guess. I mean, because I do a lot of different stuff. I mean, I wouldn't say that looks anything like it. Whoop, there we go.
No, I'm not saying it looks similar. It just reminds me of that same. It has the same feel to it.
Okay.
I
don't get me wrong. I like the work. I'm a big fan of Nick's stuff.
Yeah. Randy, I thought we were gonna. I mean, I'm very happy for Nick. And, I backed the book, and we're gonna be actually giving away a copy of Pink Lemonade when it ships to us here on the Indie Vote. But I thought we would have.
I got a question for Scott.
Yeah.
Didn't you at one time try to do your Project August through Kickstarter?
Yes, I was. After I'd done those, the 2 issues through Arrow, couldn't quite keep doing it because we're getting enough money in and all this, so I had to go back to doing regular work. I thought, well, when the whole crowdfunding thing started happening, I thought, well, geez, if I can get some backing, I can just devote my time to doing that. And so I ran a campaign where I was trying to raise money, not just for August, but for a series of 3 or 4 books I wanted to do along that same vein, very much the Bronze Age Marvel look to stuff.
Right.
And Randy, you mentioned that a few shows ago here, and I can't remember exactly when I did that, but I did try running a crowdfunding for that.
Yeah, I think that was just as Kickstarter was coming into vogue.
Yeah.
Back then, yeah.
And I thought,
I mean, to me, I was like, I really liked what you were doing on that series.
Thank you.
And I was like, I wanted to see that done in color.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and these days, geez, that was
a long time ago.
That was quite a while ago. Yeah.
5 or 6 years ago, I think.
At least.
Remember?
Yeah.
Now like I said earlier, the production ability to make color is almost nothing. I mean, I would definitely do a full color, the whole 9 yards. So yeah, I would definitely like to do it. I have come to realize my limitations, though. As much as everybody says you could run your own Kickstarter campaign, I beg to differ. I don't think
I understand.
I mean, I'm just not wired for that type of activity. I wish I was. I'm not afraid to work, but at the same time, not everybody's good at everything. So
right,
I can produce the work on the board and through the computer and all that, but in terms of the kind of mindset and the kind of
you're not a sales.
What's that?
You're not a salesperson. You're
no, not like that. Physically, I can say my sweat off my brow if I'm physically in front of you, but you're not doing that with Kickstarter. But the thing is also it's like having the skill. Like my wife and I, we tried running a physical studio back in 2007 to about 2010, and we found out before too long, unfortunately, that we're just not good at running a brick and mortar store. We can go to shows and we do really well selling in front of a crowd if we're on a weekend. But showing up and opening up the doors at 8 o'clock and putting the coffee on and closing at 5, 6 days a week, we're just not wired that way. So running a Kickstarter campaign is along that same line, not like running a store, but I think anybody who can do it well is just wired the certain way to make that happen. It's a new technology. It's a new social format. And there are some people that are just genius at it, like Brian Paludio, of Lady Death and all that.
Yeah, Polito, Coffin Comics.
Oh my God, yeah. He does these things almost in his sleep.
Yeah, we've talked about him quite a bit here on the show in the last few weeks. Your campaign ended on September 21st, 2011.
Oh, 11. Oh, that long ago.
That was 8 years, almost 8 years ago.
Yeah, see.
Believe it or not, Kickstarter still has it listed.
That's amazing.
Oh, nothing ever dies on the internet.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, Lewis, I appreciate and agree with your sentiment. If it's that classic case, I'm one of those kind of guys that creates content
Mhm.
and tells the story, and the art skills are there. But if you could set somebody right next to me that could run the campaign with my backing them up with whatever help they would need, I bet you would make it go.
Yeah.
But I'm just not one of those guys who can do it. I mean,
I totally understand. I'm having the same difficulty myself. I'm having the same difficulties myself, so I can't blame you.
yeah. And
Yeah, Paluto has built it up to a science. He's got it down to a very fine-tuned machine. He kicks out 4 prestige format books a year.
which is amazing. I mean,
He's probably working 3 products up. He doesn't solicit, he doesn't start a campaign for a book until it's done, because he knows that the money's gonna be there.
yeah.
And he's already paid all of his people to work on the book before he starts the campaign. They're all free and clear. It's all a matter of how much money he's going to get, after he publishes it. And then, like the maniac that he is, he still does conventions and sells as many or as often as he can.
He's
He's got a whole storage unit full of tchotchkes,
knowing what
stickers,
you're going to get one of those
bookmarks, everything that you can imagine.
knowing what Polito and some of these other guys are going to get for their books, if they ask you okay, Randy, what's your usual page pinup rate? And everybody on the panel, what's your usual pinup rate?
I just shrug my shoulders and go, what do you want to pay me? It all depends upon the project. If it's a commercial job, of course, it'll be, a lot higher. Then I get paid by the, for my time, but everything else is pretty much by the job.
Does your page rate change if someone who is known for having great success at crowdfunding comes to you and asks you to do a piece?
My response would be, what do you normally pay everybody?
Okay.
Yeah.
Depending upon how much I like them,
I'd
I'd be real happy to do a Lady Death pinup for his standard rate, whatever Paluto wants to charge me. That's fine. I'm up for it.
I usually try and find out what their budget is, what they're just roughly thinking, what they'd be willing to pay, and it usually falls a little short of what I'd like to get or what I charge clients who I know have got solid budgets. It'll range anywhere from, if I want to throw out physical numbers right now, I'd probably say, if I'm just going to pencil it, I know they got a decent inker, or if they want me to ink it, 125 to 250 a page, and that's fairly involved. I mean, if they want, well, like I said earlier, if they want like a Wrights and Frankenstein plate, then we're talking big money. But if it's just your classic superhero or adventure illustration or whatever, it's pretty competitive.
My book for the week, Randy, is a little bit different, actually. Again, very happy to got his funding. However, my book for this week is Starblades.
That's your book.
I haven't invested in that yet, but I will.
I haven't invested yet either, but
Why is that your book of the week?
It's gorgeous.
The cover looks beautiful. Is he inside too?
That's the same guy. The same guy did the interior.
Oh my!
Yeah. It's a good look at that.
Oh my! Yeah, you said this. You saw this earlier.
Yep.
No,
he colors Cyberfrog, and it's doing an amazing job on that too. I can't wait to see that book because it's going to be just that colorful.
I got to these 2 panels and said, I got to get this book.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That is nice. Wow.
He's shown other artwork with all of the characters on that. He's got whole sets of covers done up. I think he's got the book pretty close to finished, but I'm not positive on that. He's planning on having it out by January.
Gee.
So I guess he's still got a ways to go on it then. If he's out it by January.
That guy, and what's his name again?
Kyle Ritter.
Kyle Ritter. Has he ever had Marvel or DC give him the time of day?
He's been bugging DC for years. They wouldn't give him the time of day.
That's amazing to me. I mean,
so what happened is the colorist that was on Green Lantern, when Ethan got shunned out of DC, he was gonna when Ethan restarted Cyberfrog, he was bringing the colorist over with him until that guy got shamed off of doing the book. So he broke off with Ethan, and Ethan This guy has always been bothered, or not bothering, but he's always been contacting Ethan and coloring stuff for him. You know, asking him, can you send me a black and white of page whatever, a Green Lantern that you just did? Because I want to color it and show you how good I am.
Oh,
So,
he did stuff on spec.
Oh, he did a lot of stuff on spec, according to Ethan, a lot of stuff. And he's I guess he's incredibly fast, because I've seen him do a lot of cover work lately for a lot of the crowdfunding stuff, just pop up. And then he decided to start doing his own book. Wow. Ethan was so impressed with him that he made it a stretch goal on his campaign for Cyberfrog that if they hit a certain amount, that he'd cut him a bonus check for 10 grand.
Well, yeah, I mean,
you kidding, really?
No kidding. And that show that Ethan ran that day, they more than hit that mark. So he sent him a check for 10 grand.
And that book is now up to 29,000.
His book is
Starblade.
Not up
Starblade.
to 2,000, or it is.
It'll hit six figures probably within a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I don't have any doubt on it. Not just because he's a buddy of Ethan, but because the book is that pretty.
I want to bring up something.
It's a beautiful looking package.
I want to bring up something I've seen.
And with him, with Kyle, he's got a very limited marketing range because he's a deaf mute.
Yeah.
What? He's a what?
Yeah, he's a deaf mute. So it's not like he can go around and do a lot of video chats and that unless people know sign language and they have a translator.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's almost like, wow.
I noticed something.
Why DC kept pulling him off, because they didn't want to.
He's got an incredible color sense. I love his palette.
Yeah.
Palette choices. You should see the Cyberfrog pages. They're just incredible.
Like I say, it's so sad that the companies blew him off just because of a disability.
I doubt that it was disability as much as just notice. Yeah. They wouldn't give him the time of day because they figured they already had colors, because a buddy of a buddy of a buddy of a buddy had a Photoshop.
Yeah.
That they decided to give the job to.
I noticed something,
but he's eager and he's hungry and he's doing some phenomenal stuff. So.
And I don't want to throw any books under the bus here, but I was looking for some books to fund, and I was trying to find books that did like 2 or 3 retail packages, so we give away a book here on IndieVolt, which I want to start doing as soon as some of these books actually start coming out.
See, Starblades has 1 of everything, and then the next package is 5 of everything.
Yeah. One of the things I noticed, and it really started to piss me off, and it was on Kickstarter, unfortunately. Lewis, I'm not picking on Kickstarter, but I noticed that there's a lot of artists who are creators who are doing like tiers that are PDF first. I was looking at this one book, and I don't want to say that because I'm probably going to get the book anyway, but it takes me, I have to pay $30 to actually get to the point where I can get a physical copy of the book.
Well, you know why that is.
$30. What do you mean?
Like, pay $30 in order to get a copy of the book.
You mean play to a crowdfunding thing? Oh,
yeah. The other tiers in crowdfunding will give you a digital copy.
Yeah.
Oh,
the reason for that is because the creator's using a print-on-demand printer, and he's probably paying $5 or $6 a unit, if not higher, in order to get the book done.
Oh, okay, I see.
Because he's probably printing it to order.
Well, that right there, that makes that. See, to me, that's the part I don't quite understand, because I did crunch some numbers for the Kickstarter I tried, and it seems to me that if you build in the cost of doing just one book at a time into the pledges, that you could just have one person pledge a certain amount and then still get a book, because it doesn't cost that much to produce it. Of course, I don't know what these might be extra big books, maybe 40, 50 pages versus 30.
They're probably 100 or 120 pages, considering that you have to go to $30 in order to get the and then that probably also doesn't include postage.
Yeah,
that's been a big stumbling block with the Indiegogo guys, is that all of them underestimated the amount that they need for postage.
You know what? I was just noticing though, like I'm looking at a lot of books on.
They're all adjusting it on their second campaign though.
Well, I'm looking at
learning.
I'm looking at a lot of books here on Indiegogo. They don't. Let's see. Yeah, this one, Shinobi Sasquatch, has a $12 penny saver digital.
Is that the name of the
Shinobi Sasquatch? Yeah, that's the name of the title.
Yeah, they got. I'll share.
You get some free time. You need to pound around on Kickstarter and Indiegogo and take a look at some of these products. There's some pretty inventive stuff coming out.
It sounds awesome.
There it is, a Shinobi Sasquatch.
That's got the same feel as a Richard Corbin.
There's a $12.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah, remember Richard Corbin?
Sure. Oh my God.
Look, I can get into a book. I can
Their
get
airbrush.
Yeah.
a t-shirt. I know. I can get the book for 25. The 25. I mean, I know it's not that far from 30, but the book was at least it was $30 for a 150-page book at least. So that's good. But and I'm probably going to end up.
Wait. Scroll back down a second.
Looking at the quality of the art, that's not something you want to, with the gray tones in that, you would have to print that on white paper.
Oh, yeah.
And you couldn't do a newsprint on that and have it look right.
No.
I mean, you could, but you'd have to have a lot of print savvy in order to get it to the colors to pop at all.
No, the drawing on this is really, really nice. Right. Beautiful draftsmanship and nice flow of anatomy. Boy, some power. Reminds me a little bit of Dale Keown,
I see it.
Boy. But yeah, Richard Corbin, especially that girl right there.
It's a lot of airbrush. Yeah, kind of a combination of the two.
Yeah. Not just Corbin's technique, but the way he drew.
Yeah.
Details. Oh my.
Very similar to how I met my wife. Very similar situation.
Oh, okay. Now see, now you're just bragging. You're gonna brag like that. We want proof.
I was chasing her in some type of outfit. Yeah, she was running. You know what? This book almost looks as good black and white, doesn't it? Look at that.
Yeah, it does. It looks amazing.
Yeah, see, that's somebody who understands, tone quality and value.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
Look at that.
Yeah, the color is almost distracting from the detail work.
Yeah, he could run this as a black and white tone.
Easy. Yeah.
Wow. Nice. And he can't get. This is the guy that's been trying to kick around Marvel BC, or
no, you were thinking Kyle Ritter.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
Kyle was trying.
Right, a little behind.
Who is this, Randy? I forgot. This is a
scroll up. It'll probably say
Cal James.
Go back. Go up.
39,000.
Yep.
Cal Jameson. Now take it down a little bit. Keep going. Right there. Stop. You went too far.
Nope.
Told you to stop. Go up.
Go back down.
Show us the spine. Never mind.
I think there's some lag issues.
Okay, there we go.
Cal Jameson, who does the Graveyard Shift comic.
Yeah.
I can't read the Rob something because your live logo's in the way, but that's okay.
Artist Rob Willis, who's going to be huge. Colorist Paul Billick, coloring Wizard Supreme. And
That's huge.
Eric Withers.
Eric Withers. Yeah.
Of course, Eric Withers. Yeah.
Shinobi Sasquatch aims to continue to raise the bar on quality in indie comics. We're all giving our very best, pouring ourselves into this book, make it more than worth the cost.
I tried to raise the bar once.
Just couldn't get a grip on the foundation.
It just pissed off the strippers.
I like what he says. Shinobi Sasquatch was conceived somewhat foolishly. I love that.
But as I fleshed out the world and its inhabitants, I realized there was a lot more story potential than I expected. I've since grown to truly love the concept, characters, and setting. And Shino, as some call him, has grown to hold a special place in my heart, along with my most favorite characters.
I love it.
That's great. It will be a milestone in all our careers. While we've all done paid work in the industry, this will be the first book to be exclusively our own. If we fund this one, we fully plan on releasing more of Shino's stories any way we can.
And the perks look nice too. I mean, you get $25 for a book, $40 for the t-shirt.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
Gotta appreciate people like that.
Yeah. And you get all the impression that they're just having a blast working on it.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
See that with the attention to detail and the, I hope the story reads as good as the artwork. That would be incredible. That'd make for an incredible book.
So yeah, that's one of the.
It's awesome. Love the name Kenobi Sasquatch. My God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you ever how do you guys? Would you be okay? I think I asked you this last weekend. If I did, forgive me. Digital PDFs. Would you put them as a part of your Kickstarter or Indiegogo?
A digital comic is part of the Kickstarter perks?
Yeah, the digital. Yeah, would you list it as a perk? Hey, $10 gets you the digital PDF.
I would be willing to, but again, that's an aspect I don't think I have the whatever to do it. If somebody next to me that knew how to put together a digital copy from my physical copy I'd create,
No.
It's not as difficult as you think.
You make your PDF off the files that you're going to send to the printer.
Yeah.
And you send people those PDFs?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think you're overthinking it. It's that you're thinking newfangled technology, and it's really not.
But
it's actually pretty easy to put a PDF together.
My fear is someone takes those PDFs and sends them around to their buddies because they now they're emailing the PDF around to their.
There's probably the only real concern I would have is that once you release a PDF or send it off to somebody, what is their capability with it?
Yeah.
They can then print it out themselves and make a few garage.
It'd be a really low res print. You could tell the quality will be a little off, but they could email it to a buddy who could email it to a buddy who throws it up on Pirate Bay or wherever for torrenting or download. I mean,
is that just the nature of the beast, and that's just something you have to?
I think kicking out a digital PDF just welcomes it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make the property or it doesn't make the file unique. There are copy guards that you can probably throw up that are easy to throw off. If somebody wants to pirate your work, if somebody's got a scanner, they can pirate your work anyway. But it's a little bit more of an effort than if you just hand them a PDF that they can stick in their computer and copy and send off to a buddy. Or throw up on a cloud and tell everybody, hey, I've got it up here at this site. You can go up here and read it.
Yeah, you don't have to, donate to the Kickstarter or whatever.
Yep. If I would, like I told you, if I revise the Spank the Monkey on the comic market, I've got the first 2 issues of Spank the Monkey. Huh?
That would be so awesome. I would love to see Spank.
Thanks. I've got the first 2 issues of Spank I've sat down and digitally colored that I would offer as a PDF level. A funding level. If my campaign hit a certain amount, then I would throw that in because it would be just a matter of running off some thumb drives and shipping them, putting them in the package with it.
Oh, yeah.
Here's Spank 1 and 2. Boom.
Here is our 1 second.
And then if that gets pirated, there's no problem. But if they want to do the revised book, then they'd have to splice the book apart in order to get it into their scanner correctly.
Gotcha.
All right, so breaking it down a little bit differently. You each have 2 minutes to tell me how you would react to a situation. These are going to be various situations that happen in comics. Okay, in the comics industry. Okay, no one will have the same question.
Louis, don't get depressed.
Let's see here. Hold on.
He's trying to cause drama, that's all.
Oh, yes.
My comic shop is having a midnight sale tonight. I could just bow out and head off,
That's true. Or we get to pick up some copies, whatever you get. Okay, Varian, what are these? Fire away. What are they going to put us through here?
All right, give me 1 second. I will.
He's going to do the randomizer, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Do it.
So, all right. Here we go. Let's see here. Let's see who we land on first here.
I'm going to make it so it lands on me first anyway.
All right. Let's see who the wheel lands on here first, okay?
Oh, that's funny.
Let's see who the wheel lands. Oh, Randy. You're first, sir.
Oh no,
You're first.
that is
The
hilarious.
wheel is on you, sir. All right, Randy. Let's set it up. You're gonna have 2 minutes to answer the question, and the question is for
Question
you.
on a randomizer also.
No. The question is just. We
One,
should get really high tech and do the questions on randomizer. Okay. 1 second. Should be much more prepared here than I am.
shoot them all. No, that's not the answer.
That's the answer for everything, isn't it? Aaron?
Incredibly large knives. Let's get that bridge burned.
Okay, Randy,
Kerosene. What?
you set up at a Comic-Con.
Okay.
You set up at a Comic-Con. You leave for the night, Friday night.
Uh-huh.
Come back Saturday morning,
Okay.
and all of your belongings are gone. What do you do? Time is starting now.
Well, just inform the showrunners of what happened. What more can you do? File a police report if it was valuable stuff. If it was my stuff, if it was Flint Comics, I'd just shrug my shoulders and go, cool, I guess I don't have to be here today. And I'd spend the day go around talking to people. But that's because I came there to give the paper away anyway. If it was all my personal stuff, and I've had boxes disappear at shows before.
Mhm.
All you can do is make sure that the convention people know that there's a box missing. Some things were taken. But when it comes to my stuff, if somebody wants multiple copies of that, that's it's really no nothing to me, because I've got boxes of this stuff sitting behind me.
Mhm.
Now, if it was a portfolio, that'd be a whole different thing. Then I'd be a lot more worried, and that would probably take a big police report, and I'd want somebody found and prosecuted for grand theft.
Mhm. Is that larceny?
Larceny, yeah. But that's about it. There's not a whole lot that you can do. That's why I always take my portfolio with me on a 2-day show. I take it home or I take it back to the room.
Oh yeah.
If it's that valuable, you don't want it sitting under the table anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't leave anything overnight at a show that I can't do without. Like I said, I've got boxes of comics that I've printed back behind me. It just makes my wife happy. You're not coming back with your boxes? Oh, that's cool.
Oh, awesome.
That's the stuff in the basement.
We may get better mileage in the car.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll
Is that my 2 minutes?
No, yeah, you still got 12 seconds left. Are you done?
I surrender the remaining part of my time.
I yield the floor.
I yield the floor. Back to the randomizer.
Okay, let's see who is next. It can't be Randy against the
Marion, before you spin the wheel, how come your name's not on the wheel?
I came up on the wheel.
These questions are for you guys, not for me.
Oh, okay. The perks of running the show. I get it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's not good. Next time, buddy, a 4-sided wheel.
Okay. All right, here we go. Then if it lands on Randy again, we're gonna spin it again because
Okay. That's awesome.
Scott.
Okay.
It is you,
All
sir.
right, I'm ready.
Okay. So you are at a Comic-Con. Okay.
Okay.
You're walking through the artist alley and you see your art on a print wall that is not at your table. What do you do, sir? Starting now.
Okay. Now, is this before or after I pummel the hell out of the guy who's got my art?
I think that's part of your answer.
Oh, okay. Well, I would first, I would very diplomatically approach said person running the space and say, is there a story you can tell me about how you got that art? Because I don't say I assume I don't have my signature on it because I sign everything I sell. So if they've got some art of mine that doesn't have a signature, I know that it's been stolen or gotten through ill gains.
Mhm.
I would ask very politely how they got it, what are they doing with it, and then I would very, very diplomatically say, okay, we need to correct. It would slowly become The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to make a huge, wouldn't want to make a huge thingamabob about it right then and there because, you don't want to make a bad atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make sure you take care of that. Make sure that they understand this is no. Because I assume they're going to want to be able to walk out of our artist alley.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's say they dispute you and say it's theirs.
Oh, well, yeah, we're definitely talking The Walking Dead evolution right then and there. I would not. I guarantee you, I would not suffer such a fool gladly. I would definitely.
The conversation at the con becomes, did you hear what Scott did?
He left about 3 pieces laying behind. I couldn't believe it.
Wouldn't be the first time with an artist and a so-called artist. Yes.
All right.
Oh, is my time up?
Yep, it is. It is. All right. So next, so we don't have to spin the wheel. We know who's left. Lewis,
gird your loins.
Lewis, and you probably have the worst question, Lewis.
Of course I do.
You have the worst question. Okay.
Luck of the draw.
Yeah. Lewis, you're sitting at your table. You're enjoying a nice Saturday at your favorite Comic-Con. It's very lucrative. Okay. You're minding your business when, you are approached by 3 security guards, 2 police officers who inform you that a cosplayer says that you drew pictures of her in various states of dress and have been selling them. They want you removed from the show immediately, if not sooner. Okay? They want you removed magically. Okay?
You'll be discharged.
Yeah. And 2 minutes begins now.
You said the cops came?
The cops and 3 security guards.
Well, first off, I'd say piss off. Give me the management. The management has to come first off. Secondly, I want the accuser present and show exactly which pieces that she's accusing me of.
Look at all this white privilege.
That's
Get me the management. Wait for me, officer.
Cosplayers as a rule. So there you go.
Wow.
But if a cosplayer was to come up to ask me for sketches, that they would get one sketch of them and it's for them. Otherwise, I don't do sketches of cosplayers. So I know that they're just lying. They'd have to point out the artwork that I supposedly sold.
Mm-hmm.
Prove
it. So
what if they did produce some artwork that looked amazingly like yours?
Very unlikely, but okay. I don't know because I don't think I have anything like because they're saying print. They'd have to have some damn good prints because I don't make prints either anymore to speak of.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it'd be that's a very almost next to impossible scenario for me personally. But I guess that for the sake of the scenario, it would have to be a person who didn't like the sketch I made of them when they commissioned it and then started this nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would just say, okay, well then bring the artwork. Let's destroy the artwork right here present. Here's your money back. have a nice day. Goodbye. That's how I would do it.
Oh.
And it's interesting because Lewis, are you finished?
Sure.
Okay. Let me see if I can stop that. Yeah, okay.
Does he yield to the floor?
The interesting thing about that is that all those questions I asked you guys are actually situations that have happened at Comic-Con.
Yes, definitely.
Certain things have been changed to protect, the identities of certain people. But for Lewis's, that happened with a comic book writer. She was so sure that someone had drawn a picture of her and was selling it. She got so upset. She went on social media. She bitched and complained. Only for the artist to be like, that ain't you. And
was it a nude drawing or some offensive?
No,
drawing?
not even a nude drawing. Not even a nude drawing. Just a drawing of
a person that the person being drawn was a professional writer.
Yes.
Okay.
That's weird.
Well, no, I've seen people do likenesses of other people in the business for different characters before.
When it comes to cosplayers, I've read a couple of examples where cosplayers have been out of shape because somebody had taken their picture without their approval, consent.
Yeah.
And that they only want to be photographed by professional photographers. So some amateur patron that's at the show snaps their picture, and that throws them into a tizzy.
Yeah, or they're very big on getting permission first.
Yeah.
I mean, and whenever I take photo, I always ask them and all that. I want to make sure I cover all my bases. But
well, it must be a growing problem even in the outside of the convention circuit, because at the Saginaw show, we posted signs telling anybody that was there that they are going to be photographed. They are going to be used in marketing for future shows because they're part of a crowd. And that if they don't want to be photographed, we had a special wristband for them to use, so that we would know to blank out their faces if we had to.
And that was nice of you guys, because most shows say, if you don't want to be filmed, don't come in.
Well, that should be the norm, but the marketplace insisted that we did that because it was their first show and they had run into that problem in the past where they've had events there and then they used the picture for marketing and had people get bent out of shape. So
see, that's where
it was either that or have everybody sign a release form as they came through the door, and I did not want to do that.
Yeah.
No. Well, that's just using your sense of awareness of how social norms are changing along the way, because even as a lot of these cosplayers and most people these days, everybody's got a phone in their pocket. So, and the billions of selfies you see posted online all the time, it seems as if nobody has a problem with their picture being taken, but yet that still can be possible. And so you've got to make sure you keep that in mind, because even though these people, a lot of cosplayers, they just love having their photo taken, but only if it's in the right conditions.
Right.
So, you don't want to throw, gas on a potential fire, because that could be problematic.
Scott, have you ever had any troublesome fans?
Oh my God. I had trouble with fans.
Yeah.
Such as,
like, they come up to you, they won't leave the table. Or they start overstepping their boundaries. Like,
you mean the soul-sucking vampires? I have had a few choice instances over the many years I've been going to shows where, I'm the first to admit I'm a chatty Cathy from way back, so I'm willing to talk to anybody for any length of time as long as it's enjoyable. But I have had situations where people, they kind of sense that, or they kind of play up to, it seems like that way. And so they come up and suddenly, before I know it, 5 minutes go by and suddenly I'm learning about some childhood trauma they had. And I have no idea what they're trying to do or how am I supposed to deal with this. And it goes from my simply trying to sell them a couple of prints, so I could, make some money, to them, I feel like I should bring a therapist couch with me or something. I've had moments like that.
There was a guy at the Kintokyo Con. Eric gets up away from the table, and the guy comes over to me, and he's looking at Eric's print, and he's like, "Yeah, I used to like drawing," and I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah," and and I'm like, well, because you can still draw, man. If you used to like drawing, just pick a pencil up and get back into it. Well, I did, but my father broke my hands when I was 8. The hammer. Was it on purpose? Like, were you helping him build something? No, he did it on purpose. He liked the fact that I was drawing. So
wow.
He broke my hands, and the fact that he caught me masturbating and he broke my hands. And I'm 8, and I'm just kind of freaking out about this information he's giving me, but he's just giving me his extra.
Told you that?
The whole psychological breakdown, and I'm like, and he just keeps going, and it's also, and he's using, what do they call it?
Yeah. You just headlights look, and you just.
Did he have any scars on his hands?
You know what? His hands were gnarly. They were like,
wow.
But he was but he used like the $5 words. Like he was really educated, and he's like, yeah, and my father's abuse has prevented me from having any type of relationship with a woman ever. And it's just like, and he's like, in the anger starts boiling up, and I'm like, I don't have a little button on the table to hit security or anything. Like, I got a live one here. He's just going off, and he's just getting more and more upset. But then he kind of calms down, and he's like, "Yeah, can I have the Spike from Cowboy Bebop, please?" And I'm like, "Yeah, here, like
here, please." Seek help while you're at it.
Well, he probably has been.
Yeah, I mean, he was just
without it.
If he's recognizing those problems, he's probably seeing some sort of counselor.
That's some raw stuff to hear out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean,
that is rough.
Do you think sometimes fans, though, they do that, especially Scott, in your case, having worked for the larger companies, fans do that because they've in their minds you're someone they can talk to because you're there every month for them to get some type of enjoyment or something, some type of escape from their real life. So when they meet the person who does this, they feel like, hey, I can confide in this guy about these traumas or
Well, yeah, I suppose that's possible. I mean, that could be certainly one way to look at it. I think there is something about when you have somebody who encounters another person who they think has achieved some level or something that they don't ever think they can go to. So I think there's maybe a little bit of, I don't know, kind of automatic admiration.
Mm-hmm.
Not that any of us really deserve that, but I think they look at that situation and that particular person and they think, well, maybe they are of such a stature that they can take part of what I'm talking about, take it in a little bit, and I can share it. So it makes it a little lighter for me, a little easier for me. And I think maybe that's a possibility.
Yeah, you never know how you're perceived at a show. The stuff that we take for granted, other people are, look at you with awe and as an inspiration.
Yeah. But I remember at one show, we were set up at our table, and there was a guy that came up to us, and he was just, wild. All kinds of great outfit stuff on, and he has like Wookiee scalps on his belt, and he's got, all kinds of stuff. And he looks like one of just those wild convention goers. And he's talking to me, and suddenly these two young girls come up to him, and they're just, it's like watching the women come up to like the Beatles or something, and they're, oh, can we take your picture, please, please, please? And he lets them take their picture, and they run away giggling, like they've just met, Elvis Presley or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it stunned me because I think, wow. He wasn't even a guest at the show. He was just there as one of the attendees. Apparently, he was part of some gaming situation or gaming group or something.
Mm.
And he had just this mad following from not just these two girls, but all kinds of other girls.
That's how they looked at him. Yeah, it was like,
that's how they perceived him. He was this really incredibly special person that that for whatever reason he had that effect on people.
Can't do that now.
I think he had your cap on.
Yeah.
I think it would all depend on where he placed his hands.
Oh yeah, there's that.
Yeah. Now you gotta take pictures like this.
Yeah. But no, I think I remember before I became pro doing this stuff. I'd love. Like I told you earlier, the thing with Steve Rude, I loved holding court in front of him. It was just oh my God, I couldn't get enough of it. So it was just this, I had such an admiration for somebody with that kind of skill and talent that I couldn't wait to talk to him.
What to you defines? Well, I was going to say when you go to one of these shows, have you ever had a moment that for me, I give out pencils sometimes to artists, young artists,
that's cool.
Kids. I give out graphite holders and a ruler, and some additional graphite, and I keep them on me, and I order some occasionally to get them.
You give them graphite with those graphite holders, or just tease them with the holder instead of
I give him graphite. I give him out I do. I cheap out.
Hey, little girl, have you ever held a pencil before?
I got a special one right here for you.
Oh, my God.
Change that up, aren't you, Varian?
Yeah.
That was good.
Give me a pencil.
That'll be my question next week. You know,
And he wanted me to sharpen it.
that would be my question next week. If Varian sitting at this table when somebody comes up, did you get my little girl pencil?
I got her permission first, sir.
It's really messed up because the pencils are black too. So it's
Oh, there's that.
yeah. You gave her your black pencil.
Hey, little girl, have you ever held a long black pencil before?
It's got a number 10 stamped on it.
I got a sharpener.
You know what's funny is that my pencil.
Let me show you my walnutto.
My pencil is
That was before your time, Barry.
I have a pencil called Big Ben, and it's black.
Oh, there we go.
So these are really hitting close to home. Is that a regular pencil, Scott?
It's number 2.
Scott, you drew off a number 2 pencil?
No, I call my pencil Big Ben. My pencil. I asked her if she wanted to hold Big Ben. She runs away screaming.
But I can only hold up for so long. And then.
That's horrible. That's horrible, old man.
You know,
There's
I got a convention story for you.
Go ahead.
It wasn't really a convention, it was a show. I was set up at a table outside at a rock and roll show handing out the paper.
Mhm.
I had a guy with a motorcycle, big guy, bigger, twice as big as me, and I'm not lying, twice as big as me. Come riding by on his motorcycle, and he stops and he looks at me and he goes, he pulls up, sets his bike up and comes over to me all determined and goes, "Are you the guy that puts that paper together?" And I'm like, holy shit, because this guy is big, and he's dead serious. And I'm freaking out, and I'm like, yeah, getting ready to take some punishment. And he goes, "I've got to show you something." And I went, "Oh, okay." And he rolls up his arm and he goes, "Look at that. And there was an entire Leo strip that he had tattooed around his arm.
Oh my God.
Paper. Says, "I love Leo. Leo is awesome." Leo was one of the strips that we printed in the paper. I don't know if you're familiar with Lewis. You're just looking. I don't know if you're familiar with Mark Tatouli's work, but
Yeah, no, I know who Leo is.
it's a whole Leo strip, and it was the whole strip wrapped around his bicep.
Oh, my
Leo is awesome. Walked away. I'm like, cool, dude.
God, it's great.
I think I had him send me a picture of it. I think I printed it in the paper too.
Would have been cool if he had like the Flint Comics logo too.
A what?
Would have been cool if he had the Flint Comics logo tattooed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like the Spank the Monkey. I'd love to see if somebody had a tattoo Spank.
Nobody remembers Spank.
Oh.
I could get Spank. I get Spank the Monkey tattoo. I mean, he's brown mostly, so you don't have to do much work.
Not a whole lot of coloring needed. So.
Yeah.
White shading in tone for the
There you go.
Yeah, man, I had a little bleach on it for the lighter area.
Yeah, I'm about to start bleaching my skin anyway, man. I gotta fix my credit up. Asked about the best way to do it.
Baron's gonna go Michael Jackson route. Okay.
I'm gonna go Sammy Sosa because and we talked about this once before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going Sammy Sosa. I'm getting about Lewis's color. That's why they call him Bright Raven. I'm gonna lighten up. Lewis, I'm shocked that you don't have a character named Bright Raven who's like Phoenix, reverse. No, I'm doing it then. It's Bright Raven. It's gonna be a raven. It's gonna be shining.
No, Lewis, is that you see the Bright Raven is hyphenated. Is that your actual family name, or is that
It's
constructed.
a tribal name from the Chippewas up in Mount Pleasant.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
But yeah, I'm related to the tribal elders in there.
Oh, no kidding.
I tell everyone that Lewis married a strong Indian gentleman. That's his name. Like he was Lewis Bright.
Lewis Bright, yeah.
Yeah, no, he's
The
Lewis
last
Bright.
name of Raven.
No, I think his last name. It's like it's mysterious. Lewis Bright Raven. But you better not ever commit a crime because that name is you can be found easy. Like I can be found easy as well. But still, that's like distinct. Lewis Bright Raven.
Scott, you know how Varian was named, right?
Varian, you do realize that I do have.
No, I was gonna say I love that I love the first name.
Do you remember an old
I
TV
know.
show called Incredible Journey?
Yeah.
The Incredible Journey had Roddy McDowell in it.
Oh yeah.
Played a mad scientist.
Yeah.
His mom was a big fan of that show.
Are
I'm
you
not
serious?
lying. The lead character, the lead alien on that show was the guy who ended up playing Dusty on Dallas. I don't remember his name. He was also the lead in War of the Worlds. He had a tan shirt with a big collar. He used to have a gun that worked off of sound, had a tuning fork.
Oh sure, yeah.
And his name was Varian.
And you sure and Varian's mom was a huge fan of
Yeah.
that actor or no kidding.
No kidding. Because when I met Varian, I said, dude, I know where you got your name. I love that show. Because this whole group used to travel from dimension to dimension. That's not the right show.
No, I know. That's
Varian's War.
very cool with William Hurt and
Oh, that's who you want everybody to think that's where.
he Varian Fry
That
saved
character was named after that science fiction show too.
No.
this Varian he saved during the Holocaust. He would get Jewish people out, but he only according to the movie anyway. I have the movie because it's Varian's War, right? He only was able to get out like he tried to get Jewish people of note, like artists, composers, painters, out of Nazi Germany, and he snuck them out, kind of like Schindler's List in a way.
Oh, okay, but more specifically,
That must have come out right after Schindler's List. I've never heard of the movie before.
What? I'm just kidding. I don't blame you. It's I had the DVD. I have the DVD. It's 2001. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Definitely
Yeah.
after. But
Yeah, look up Incredible Journey.
okay.
Yeah, see, they had a long time since I saw that movie. That's awesome. So, Varian, have you ever had cause to somewhat regret your mother's fan base choice of names for you?
I'm gonna get him a copy of that gun one of these days and just hand it to him at the show because it's got to be an easy build. I should talk to Kurt about getting that done.
Oh God, yeah, he could do it.
He could probably do it.
Yeah.
Kurt Kolka or someone else?
Oh
Kurt,
no,
my brother Kurt.
Oh,
Right.
okay. Kurt Zimmerman, okay.
My brother Kurt makes Star Wars droids that he wheels around at shows and over to hospitals and that. Yeah.
Lewis, have you ever seen Kurt's R2 Deco?
Yes, I have. That's what I was.
Isn't that awesome?
All you got to do is watch Star Wars Resistance on Disney. You can see R2 Deco.
Yeah.
Oh, did he get in there?
Huh?
No, they stole it.
No, they stole it. Well, they didn't really steal it because the main design was Lucasfilm anyway. But he said they got confronted and said, you took that droid from Kurt's designs. They said, well, no, we didn't. And then, one of the production guys went,
Yeah, we did.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's the Fantastic Journey stuff. I probably can't play.
there's Varian shooting the gun.
Oh yeah. Go back to that. That shows his yeah.
That's probably after the commercial, that's probably the really bad trailer. 3 people hit the mysterious Bermuda Triangle.
In a dimension with beings from the future and from other worlds. A party of adventurers journeys through zones of time, back to their own time.
Oh my God.
Oh, fantastic journey.
Oh wow.
Marion, a man from the 23rd century, possessing awesome powers.
You possess awesome powers, buddy.
77, Fred, a young doctor just out of medical school.
You know,
Doctor.
Franklin.
you
A little
know,
more than your standard token.
That Jared Martin, he had another claim to fame. He was the main star of a very cool TV movie called Men of the Dragon.
Yeah.
Well, just shy of a little bit after Enter the Dragon became so big.
Okay.
And he was the main martial artist in it, the really talented white guy. And it was obviously a made for TV rip off Enter the Dragon. That's where I first noticed him, because he had all these great kung fu moves on Men of the Dragon and all this.
I'm probably the reboot, and people are pissed because Varian's been recast as a black guy.
Well, you need to get that groundbreaking now. You're just setting the guide for everybody else.
Yeah. I was, I did. You know when people get pissed about all the, they call it reskinning, and I get it. I get why they're upset, but they need to go back further. And this is why I know. This is why I'm sure that nothing is going to happen. People are like, oh, they're trying to create a race war. No, they're not, because you have to go back to Spawn the movie when they took Spawn's best friend. I forget the character's name. They took Al Simmons' best friend, and who was a black guy in the comic, and made him white in the movie by casting D.B. Sweeney.
Oh,
and nobody. So poor Al Simmons dies, comes back, and his best friend has married his wife. Okay, probably giving her a kid.
Well, that's what happened in the comic, yeah.
Yeah. That happened in the comic, but in the comic, it was a black guy.
Mm-hmm.
In the movie, it was a white guy, which made the betrayal even harder.
Wow.
It's like, you expect the type of stuff from a brother, but your white friend, he's not supposed to do this. He waited till you die. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go get that piece of chocolate over there. Delicious. So
Damn.
Chocolate.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not convinced he didn't know Spawn was gonna die. I got all kind of different narratives for that one. I'm not gonna tell you guys, but I forgot the tail turned over this way. So when I turned around and seen this, scared the hell out of me just a minute ago.
Don't know your own hat, Varian. You gotta familiarize yourself with your own wardrobe.
My wife won't let me wear it out. She said I can wear it for live streaming, and I can wear it to a Comic-Con, but I can't wear it to like the store. I can't go to Kroger wearing it, or to the boys' school.
Have you always wanted to wear it into a Kroger store? Is that like a specific goal?
Since I got it, I wanted to wear it everywhere.
But Kroger specifically.
Kroger.
I know you guys got Kroger stores down in the southeast corner.
I can just see that walking through. Somebody go, "What the hell is that on your head?"
Kroger. I think I fit right in at Walmart with it on, and
you'd be normal at Walmart with something like that.
No one look at me twice. Yeah, believe it or not, I got this one coming back from Traverse City. I think we were outside Traverse City pretty far. We're
Barely outside of Traverse City.
You're not talking roadkill wardrobe, are you?
All town known as Kalkaska.
And I seen it, and I said I gotta have it. And
He's not fooling us. He caught that at the Turtle Creek Casino.
You won it on a craps game. I know you did.
Won it off a craps game.
I would like to.
Not to.
I like your hat. Let's say if we draw for it.
You want another part of a raccoon you could wear? No, I would not to dissuade the conversation from your.
Detail Rocket.
That's rocking. Oh my God. I am Groot.
I could see it when Krista saw it, but honey, now I can have a piece of tail whenever I want.
Yes, she
Swear
sure.
to God, Baron, if you take that tail and start licking it, I am out of here. End of story.
No, I just pat my
Not
tail.
really.
Just
As long as it doesn't smell like tuna.
yes, we need to find out.
That tail.
We need to find. We need to find. Our
I want to ask Lewis a more comic book centric
Mhm.
question. Right?
Go ahead.
We're here.
Not that we're not all fascinated by your headwear.
Mhm.
Lewis, you mentioned earlier about you run a studio.
I used to, yeah.
You used to, okay. And what was the main thing about that studio? How many people was in it? What did you guys do?
Well, let's see.
They were a casualty of the Me Too movement.
2002. And for the first 3 years, we self-published everything out of the studio. That was the original group of myself, Chad Curry, Bob Nugent, and Darren Peterson, not the same guy who does Mouse Guard, different guy. Then when I left Michigan and went to Arizona and Nevada area, it was all online mostly.
Okay.
I just represented people online. And when people wanted to get to, when publishers and editors would come talk to me, and then I'd put everybody together, basically, for different projects, for different companies.
Oh, you were as much of an agent as you were. I mean, you kind of agent.
I never took a fee for it. As a general rule of thumb, I didn't take a fee, so I never really considered myself an agent.
Huh? You could have. I mean, you.
Yeah, I could have, but I just didn't because my idea was to have the guys that were in the studio work with me when I was ready to pay for them, and then both my parents got sick, and the money I had that would have paid them had to go to pay for their medical.
Oh, I see.
So that's when I closed up more or less and put everybody in touch with who they were with, and that's when. Okay, well now you're at Image, now you're at Marvel, now you're at DC.
So that's when it, and so this ran from when 2002,
93 to 2002.
93 to okay, well, it's almost 10 years. And it was because of the family medical stuff that caused you to dissolve it and go around. Yeah. So how many?
We had 13 total through.
Really? So you mentioned the other three guys who were part of the core of it.
The original, yeah, they were all out of Central Michigan.
Oh, okay. And how many? What were the other names of the people that you filtered through the studio? The different.
Blonde, the colorist, which you've probably seen him all over the place if you've done comics. He colored Ultimate Fantastic Four. He's colored Wolverine, Batman.
Sorry,
Michael, Youngblood, all kinds of stuff. Through digital webbing adjacent, I helped represent Yildiray Sinar, who worked on Legion of Superheroes with Paul Levitz for the DC.
Oh, okay.
Mahmoud Asrar, who's been on X-Men most recently, I think.
Okay.
And Freddie Williams, who you know from Batman and Ninja Turtles. Let's see, Edward and Matthew Kemmert, which you guys never really got to see because they died before they got into comics. They were both terminally ill with kidney disease.
Oh wow.
As I've ranted about that situation in the past, but Bob Harris basically pulled a book that I was the writer of for What If that Matt was drawing out of personal spite against me, I think, and that then Matt didn't get published in comics before he passed.
Oh, okay.
Published elsewhere, but not in comics.
All right.
So I'm not. Him and I don't get along. Let's put it that way.
Gotcha.
But there were other people as well. But
well, now how is it? You know these ne'er do wells.
Who? Randy?
Yeah, Randy and Variant.
Oh, Romero.
Oh,
he inked a book, Wonderland 1 for us and proofed a couple of issues of Spank.
Yep.
Boom. That's okay. Now I'm really up to speed. Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's probably where we got connected.
Yeah.
We did that pinup for August. Okay. Alrighty. Okay.
Lewis used to live in the area here for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah, around the central,
Yeah.
around the Flint area, right? Flint, Saginaw area.
No, mid-Michigan.
I was in Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant.
All right.
And then I'm just
And I met him just through Randy through this particular program.
I'm just a loiterer, industry loiterer,
Industry loiterer.
industry loiterer, citizen of the world.
Citizen of the world. Well, you do have a lot of listeners there on Indie Volt.
On Indie Volt Radio,
Radio.
which
We appreciate them all.
audio will be streamed on there shortly after this broadcast, actually, because I'm under show about the new program.
Speaking of that, what are the stats for tonight's show? How many people we got? Lord,
We had
Last time I looked, it was 3. So
yeah, last time we looked at it, but
that's
we had,
probably us.
up to 12.
awesome.
And by overnight, more people will watch, and we'll probably be up to like 50 or so.
Well, they'll watch the rebroadcast.
Yep. And then, of course, on Indie Volt Radio, we get a lot of people who like to listen. And I think, and Randy, I'm gonna start. Let's ask them right now.
Silly, crazy Americans.
We want them to tell us about what the books they're reading.
Absolutely.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
listen to this broadcast on Indie Volt Radio, please send us an email or comment and let us know what you're reading.
Yeah, we like to know.
Especially if it's not American comics. We really want to know.
Yeah.
Oh, they're all. I love some of those European products that come out. Some of those artists over there, the writers, just amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's some amazing stuff that a lot of which we never hear of. So
Oh yeah, I mean, you'd have to go. I mean, if you go up into the French section of Canada, you see a lot of that stuff
oh yeah.
from all over the place.
Yeah,
But
we have a few reprint companies around here, but now that the indie market's having a harder and harder time surviving, foreign reprints are getting harder and harder to see. So Epicenter Comics is still out there reprinting some of the Italian stuff, but there's very few of that other material getting out here anymore. And IDW stopped reprinting a while ago, from what I've been able to see.
which is really a shame because the material is almost endless from over there.
Oh yeah.
The one artist, Shwitan, I think is pronounced his name. He does these. He has this incredible use of perspective. He does these incredibly epic, upper worm's eye view or bird's eye view of cities, and oh my god, it's just awesome.
Yeah, there's some crazy stuff out there.
And there's another guy.
Because anywhere but here in the States, they're not just guys working out of their basements. They're looked at as actual, craftsmen and artists.
Oh yeah, they have huge respectable followings all over their culture.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
And we want to know about that stuff. So
Oh yeah.
let us know what you're reading.
Cool. All right.
Let us know what you're enjoying.
And that's gonna do it for us here this week. Now we will be back Thursday, is it, Randy?
Thursday morning.
Thursday
Morning
morning?
Club. Breakfast Club.
Yeah. For our morning show.
Yeah, this time you get to play the Molly Ringwald character.
Well, I'd love to see you fit.
If Lewis comes in, he can be Ali Sheedy. It'll be good.
No, I'm not Ali Sheedy.
I
Sorry.
want to be Emilio Estevez.
There you go.
No,
Amelia
not
Estevez.
that one either. I'm the Judd Nelson.
I love that.
You know
Now,
that.
what time is that going to be?
9, isn't it 9 a.m.?
Yeah, I think it's about 9 a.m. Yeah,
9 a.m. Thursday.
Yeah, we're very.
So in the meantime, if you want to join in, if you find some stuff in the comic news media that you want to comment on, feel free to dig that up.
yeah.
What did you guys buy this week before we leave?
This week I bought Jack. I didn't buy anything.
Jack's my favorite.
I actually bought, not this week, but just a few weeks ago, I bought a collection of Nestor Redondo's artwork.
Oh wow.
He did Swamp Thing after Wrightson left, and tons of other stuff for DC and ink. Especially I loved his inking on John Buscema during the Conan years.
Yeah.
but Nestor Redondo is just awesome. It's a beautiful, beautiful collection.
Okay.
Now, I was going to say, though, real quick, before we sign off, Randy, I'm going to be over in Saginaw this Friday.
Yes, you are. I saw that.
Yeah.
You and Bill Loebs are going to be at that Crush Cancer Con.
Is Bill going to be there too?
He's supposed to be. He's on the list.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, we're going to come in Thursday afternoon.
So did they approach you when at our show? Is that when they approached you on this, or did they dig up your information later?
They had contacted me, I think, a month or two earlier, but they recontacted after the show, after the show there in the marketplace.
Uh-huh.
Oh, great! Can you make it back over here for our show? Oh, yeah, sure. So yeah, no, they were excited to see that we'd.
I thought it was kind of interesting that their guest list so closely mirrored ours.
Yes, I'm not surprised. I'm
not either.
Well, they.
So yeah, did you want to get together Saturday night or what?
Well, actually, the show's actually going to be on Friday because that's the only time they can get the facility. So we're coming in Thursday afternoon. They're gonna put us up Thursday night and then put us up Friday night. We're gonna go home Saturday. But
unless you wanted to come down this way first, or you want us to meet you up there, or what?
Well, we can do that because after we get some shut eye Friday night, we have all day Saturday to get home. So
okay,
we can see if we can't connect and maybe do something then.
Sounds like a winner.
Yeah, that'd be great. Love to do that.
Yeah, I'll talk it over with Monica. She's probably in bed now, but usually she lets me know. But when I'm on the air, she doesn't want to interrupt.
I'll mention it to Susie. We'll see if I'm sure we can arrange something. Friday.
I spent 24 hours on a research tour. I sent Vari in a room that we were up on. We got comped a room, went to New Buffalo, which is to the Four Winds Casino down there.
Oh, no kidding.
We hadn't been there in a couple years. They were giving us a room, and we weren't prepared. We were expecting a room, but they ended up giving us a suite with a jacuzzi, which is pretty crazy. And it's not like we spend that much money.
Oh, that's awesome.
I told the lady there after I saw the room, I stopped by the lobby and I said, "You gave us a much, much better room than we deserved."
Awesome.
But we did 4 casinos in 24 hours.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, made a good tour. I can tell you this, that Hot Stuff game is amazing.
Oh,
have you ever seen the Hot Stuff slot machine?
No.
You know Hot Stuff, right?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
They have a Hot Stuff slot machine. They also have a Casper game that's really shitty.
Oh my God.
But
Hot Stuff is awesome.
Oh, that's why we go. We go to have fun, play the games,
Oh, okay.
And there's a Hot Stuff game. Little devil pops out, and he's got the trident, and he squirts fire all over the place. He goes, when you hit the jackpot, he does a Johnny Be Good. He puts sunglasses on, and he plays the trident like it was a guitar, and he goes duck walking across the screen. It's just absolutely hilarious. There's a little cauldron pot where he gathers coins in, and up above that is a great big wheel that when you hit the right icons on the board, they'll spin the wheel and you get whatever the wheel says. But when the cauldron fills up, that's when the progressives kick in. He has little icons that pop up that gives you a 2 times or 3 times or 4 times, whatever you hit. And then that'll fireball up to the cauldron, and the cauldron gets a little more and more filled with coins until it hits the brimming. Then it shakes and then it explodes, and the screen turns to all like 4 rows of coins that you have to choose.
Oh my!
And whichever one you get the 3 of, that's the progressive that you win. And it's a random pick. It's not sometimes some of these games have a computer generated pick where they'll always give you the minor or the major, and very rarely will they give you the bigger progressives. But this one is set up to be absolutely random, and there are coins in there where a little trident will pop up and he'll burn off the lower one of the progressives.
God.
So you can burn off the mini, you can burn off the minor, and you're left with the major, and then there's a grand. And it's just really an incredibly fun game.
Oh my God, I can't believe they made it of Hot Stuff. I mean, we know about that stuff, but that's
all these crazy old licenses are coming back with because the slots are appealing to an older audience. People that are our age.
Yeah.
So there's a Casper game, there's a Popeye game, there's the funnest one yet is the Hot Stuff game that I found. Plus, there's an Underdog game that's just amazing.
Oh, no.
And the Underdog game sets up a set of random picks also, where you have to point at the flashing stuff at the screen. You have to capture 3 of the villains. And there was a villain on there I didn't recognize. I had to do research on a cat character that, believe it or not, his name was Overcat. And he was on like 2 of the episode runs of Underdog. He was an alien cat that came down and tried to take over Underdog's planet.
Oh, no.
And steal Sweet Polly. Yeah, but Riff Raff is in it and Simon is in it. Simon Bar Sinister. Yeah, and little shoe sign boy goes running across.
Yeah, shoe shine boy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then again, you have to hit the right icons while you're playing the slot to get the bonus. And then the bonus is different scenes where you're picking different icons. And if you capture 3 villains, you win and you go to the next level. Or if you set off 2 bombs, then you get whatever you've accumulated up to that point. Oh, no. And the other icons are all point values, or usually, $2-3. It goes up with each level.
That's amazing.
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
It's
a lot of fun. But the games, there's a Flintstones game and a Simpsons game. The Flintstones game's pretty crazy too.
This is all the 4 Winds Casino?
Yeah. Yeah, we hit the three four wins casinos and then Firekeepers, which is down right where 69 and 94 meet.
Okay. Yeah.
Then the big 4 wins casino is down at mile marker 1, just as you're going out of Michigan into Indiana.
Oh, okay.
And that's a huge complex. They've got a Hard Rock Cafe in there. You have to drive off of the expressway on exit 1, and then you go through a set of arches, almost like what they have at, I would say almost like they have at Soaring Eagle, but I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. They have a big archway with a couple of big carved eagles.
I saw that.
You drive, and then you go down this literally winding road that's about a mile long before you get back to the complex way in the back. And there's a big, huge hotel. It's about six stories tall. The casino is absolutely huge. Wow. Down there. There's a big Hard Rock Cafe in there, a big restaurant, a couple of little deli places. It's just
I gotta check it out because I've got to get to that midnight sale.
Oh, okay, okay.
All right. Yeah. Well, see you, Lewis.
See you later, Lewis.
Heading to the midnight sale. Yeah. But anyway, we could probably talk about this after we're off of the air. So
let me end the show so everybody can go watch someone else. I will see you guys this Thursday, 9 a.m. And then if you don't catch us then, you can always catch us, obviously, in replay.
Thanks for being here, everybody.
If you want to email us any questions you want us to read on the air, you can do so at indievoltlive@indievolt.com. Keep those messages to 90 words or less, and make sure you put Indie Vote Live in the subject line. That's pretty much it for us here. We will see you guys again Thursday at 9 a.m. and as well as every Tuesday at 9.
Thanks for having me, Varian. Good seeing you, Randy.
Thanks. Good seeing you. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.